more great podcasts.
Hey listener, this is Venice, and you're listening to Voice from the Underground, hosted by
Big Hat, you know what I'm saying, and Dutch.
If this is your first time listening, here's a little insight.
They be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
If you like what you hear, leave us a rating and share our show with your friends.
You know what I'm saying? Me on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them. So check one, too. This is Flavor Flav for the Underground Podcast. Yeah, boy.
Welcome to the Underground.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another holiday episode of Voice from the Underground, the podcast where politics and pop culture collide. It is I, Jason Dutch, and we are here once again with the darkest of all dark nights, proving once again, based on his outfit, that he is the leader of the deep state Black Illuminati, Big Hussein. What's happening, Big Hussein?
I don't fuck with the Illuminati, but what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there?
The Illuminati.
What the business is? That's what I want to know, man. Bears won today. I'm feeling good, man.
They just cost themselves another draft pick, so
they was gonna waste it anyway. So I mean, you know, what's the point?
This much is accurate.
You know, we don't trouble ourselves with trivialities about the Bears and their draft picks. We know they're gonna waste them.
Well, Trubisky played so well until he decided, you know what? I've been playing so well. I might think I'll throw a pick in the end zone.
I need to shit the bed real quick.
Yeah, let me throw a pick in the end zone and make it a game. And also coming to you live from the moon of Endor with the Force gravitating around him. He is the voice of Grogu, Nikki Feminier Antifa. What's crack-a-lackin'? That's all you have to. It's like your I am Groot. I want
to know which one of them sounds is. I would like some head, please.
He's a baby.
That motherfucker ain't no baby.
That's your I am Groot for the rest of the show. So whatever you say, just go.
And I don't have children, but I think the cutest thing that kids do is when they want uppies.
Yeah,
and when they just kind of stand there and just like, you're tall.
And they go like this with their fingers. They go like this.
Yes, uppies, bitch. You know what I'm trying to. Come on.
You know what's going on.
Get me up off the ground.
Pick me up, you son of a bitch. And come on. Speaking of picking up, we picked up a hot little piece of ass from Jock and Nerd podcast. Joining us, Captain Whitebeard himself, the son of Wizzo, Imran, Deep State Havid. What's happening?
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for having me again on the Underground. Anytime I can do this and I don't have to wear pants.
Anytime we can have young Gandalf on the show, we want to do that. So.
That's right. I'm in between Imran the Gray and Imran the White. I gotta find my staff.
He is the king of all nerds, and Trump hates him because he's a dirty, stinky Muslim. He just
he just doesn't understand me. If we sat down together,
you're not a terrorist or a murderous.
Well,
you're
there's
not
no
the leader of
Trump,
a murderous regime, so he can't.
They haven't proven he's not.
Right.
Okay. And we all know they don't need evidence. So
I'm not going to let evidence get in the way of our investigation.
Exactly. And we're not going to worry about trivial things like actual evidence. So, Imran, for all we know, you are a master of terror.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
he's a sleeper. He's a sleeper.
Yeah. Can I be any whiter? My beard's turning white. I mean,
but that's just covert. The deep state injected you with whiteness.
It's true.
To make you covert enough to pollute the souls of innocent white people.
Yeah,
like Chaz Hubbard.
Yeah.
Okay, and
we need some of that. We need
radicalize them.
That white number 8. Get some of that white number 8 over here. We got a new candidate for subversion.
Yeah, no, that's they call it vitiligo, right?
Yeah.
But I believe 40 some odd years ago, when I was a little brown Pakistani boy, I was part of some kind of weird experiment.
Yep.
And they injected me with the kill the melanin serum. There's a serum that specifically destroys melanin.
It was trying to get you into 7.
Yeah.
They hit you with that MK Ultra White.
Maybe this kid will be our next Homelander. I don't know. You know what? No, sorry, I failed you, Vought. I'm a failed Vought experiment. Basically, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
I don't
feel
think
that
there's any question that is accurate. You are clearly a failed Vought experiment.
Why else
Right.
do I look like this? I mean, that's the only experiment.
I'm actually
Imran's like, all that damn shit they put him in, all I got is this super penis.
I'll take it. It's fine.
Oh, I forgot about that dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Was that his wiener that wrapped around?
Yes!
And of course,
That's what made it so funny.
of course, mother's milk gets hit by it, right?
Yeah, imagine that's the superpower you end up with.
Right.
There's moments where it's useful.
There are worse.
There's worse things.
superpowers.
Yes.
Yeah. There are worse. It
You
could
don't,
be
you don't want to be running around with a penis that strangles bitches, really.
What do you call him? Anaconda Man? Is that
Right.
that guy's name?
they've got a porno of him on RedTube with 67 women giving him a blowjob at the same
Right.
time.
See, I can't just.
It doubles as the world's largest submarine, too.
Yes, it's like a party sandwich. It's like one of those party sandwiches you get on the board, catered 60 foot of meat and cheese.
It's just the logistics of trying to organize
on-
that every
on
time
those-
you wanted to get off would just be fucking nightmare.
Imagine showering it. You
Right.
got to clean that thing in the shower. You have to.
No,
like,
you got to go
Hey,
to the car wash.
But
Not always long.
he's the hit at those dancing bear bachelorette parties, though.
They're using a jump rope and stuff, and they're doing Yeah.
Right.
I need somebody to winch my 4x4 out of this ditch.
it's a useful power.
Come on,
So just-
Anaconda.
just for in the holiday spirit. Let's see if this comes through here, right?
Pause.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Yeah.
Okay, so there.
Evil filthy souls.
Yes. So welcome in Imran to the show. Now today, just so you know, you'll probably hear a lot of beeping in the background. Today's my daughter's 15th birthday, and she thinks she runs the house, so she's turning on the lights and she's walking in and out of the
Happy
door.
birthday.
She's gonna fill her cup with ice, and she's gonna walk. And so I have no fucking control. She doesn't respect the professionalism of this podcast, and that's why she'll never turn 16. So there she is, right there. The 50, see. She comes over and she says, "I run this."
Happy birthday.
Go on air.
Birthday.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
You're in charge, aren't you?
Hear them. What are
They're
they
saying happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you.
Make sure you get high and drunk.
Okay. Thankfully, she couldn't hear that. Now go.
Oh,
All right,
my daughter
Now
turned
go away.
21.
Now go away and never come back.
Hey, dude, my daughter turned 21 on Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And now she's got a room full of liquor. Like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, it's a little all at once. It's like,
Yeah. I'm like, what are you trying to do?
but I can have all this now. I'm 21.
You know,
It's
I'm
not-
21. Now my body can handle this. No, guess
No.
what? You're going to be laid out in your room.
That's not how it works.
Well, Haz, I hate to break this to you. It's now she doesn't have to hide it.
I understand that. I found all her
It's-
liquor, man.
It's
Do you really think I don't go through her shit when she was,
Shit.
come
Every
on,
day.
man.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm just saying now she doesn't have to hide it inside a hollowed out Bible. She can just leave it on the dresser.
Hey, if I ever
Why is
found
she
a Bible in
always
her
going-
room, I knew something was wrong.
Why is she always going to the book of Ezekiel?
Right.
It's
If I ever
some-
found a Bible in her room, I know that's where she's hiding shit. I'm like,
It's like if you don't
got a
get this
Bible.
weed out
Right.
of my house.
if it was a satanic Bible, I'd be like, yeah, she might be reading that.
well, the smart place
Oh,
would be
she's a
put in
pagan.
in a textbook. We'll never.
Oh yeah,
she'll-
because they don't even have those anymore because she does all her schooling online.
That's crazy.
That's how you would know. She had like a big stack of textbooks.
Right,
So
right.
another's like,
Well, I'd be like
damn
Agent,
books.
I'd be like Agent J in Men in Black. I'd be like, no, man, she got a quantum physics book. What kind of 8-year-old has that?
That's way too advanced for her. What's my bust me in my ass when I'm just running on the tread?
Right.
Yes, exactly. So, all right. Well, first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy
Kwanzaa's
Hanukkah.
after Christmas.
Yes, but we won't have a
yeah.
show until then. So, Happy fucking Kwanzaa.
Whatever.
None of you want it anyway.
Disrespecting the Kwans.
Yeah, dude.
Do you really want Kwanzaa?
I
Yeah.
love Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it sounds fun.
Well, but I've seen quite a few stand-up comedians, black stand-up comedians, talk about y'all can have that shit back. We don't want it. Shit like that.
Yeah, you know why? Because it gets laughs.
Okay.
It's called a joke, Dutch. I
Yeah.
don't know if you knew that that's what comedians did, but it's
Well, it's only
joke.
fun, but yes, but jokes are funny because they're somewhat correct.
Some
Or
now,
that's
not
Or
always.
that sentiment does exist. Otherwise, it wouldn't
Or
be a
that
joke.
sentiment might be out there in some
Yeah.
obscure way, but I don't think that most black folks are like that. But whatever.
Dave Chappelle's funniest joke to date was him buying weed from the baby in the corner.
Oh
And he
yeah,
got to,
baby,
and there was no real baby selling weed.
go home, baby.
Right,
Wait.
right.
That
I
again,
got kids to feed.
you have no evidence. You have no evidence. You have no evidence that that's true. So therefore, it's definitely true.
You gotta stop listening to that conservative radio. It's starting to rot your brain, bro.
Oh,
No,
boy.
I've been trying so hard to get a clip for the soundboard of Mark Levine just spouting off radical leftist Marxist, Mr. Producer. Mr. Producer, have you seen these, Mr. Producer, these radical leftist Marxists? But I can't seem to find, like, I hear it on the show, but when I look on YouTube to find a clip, I can't find any goddamn clips. So it's becoming quite irritating. Oh, good. Look, the light just went back off.
They edit those out just so you can't find them, and you have to listen to the whole show to find it.
Yes, and then they want me to, so I can get their ratings up, and I don't want to really do that all so much. But it is a ratings game. Imran, what's been happening over at the JNN Weekly?
Oh, usual, the big Disney Investor Day 2020. You guys see all this? Basically, Marvel, Bob Iger going, hey, we're giving you 10 Marvel shows. Here's 10 Star Wars things. Here's all this stuff, mostly for Disney Plus. That was very exciting to hear some of that stuff.
Right. It's about time, though, because they have no fucking content on there.
So yeah, Bob Iger also said he said it. He goes, things are going to be coming a lot quicker. Like they know this.
Pause.
Yeah,
And the price will probably be going up a lot quicker.
Price is going up. They got 86 million subscribers, and they estimate by 2024 they're going to have 230 million subscribers, which is an insane number.
What do you think it's going to cost in a year?
More money.
Netflix raises $1 every year or so, and they're probably going to do the same. So if they go $1 a year,
You don't think they're going to pop it up to like $11.99 right off the top?
I don't know.
I think that would scare a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a tight race right now with everybody picking who they like the best. Netflix has been fucking up lately.
If they have content where every day of the week there's a different Marvel or Star Wars show and it's constantly rotating and it's like so much new stuff, yeah, then maybe you raise it and it's worth it. But right now they're still promising things that will be coming. They are coming.
Pause.
They will be here. But I mean, all we've gotten are 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, and like Hamilton,
Amazing.
It's been great.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. But before we do that, though, and actually, I'm gonna. If you don't, I'm okay. So, Imran, you're better at this type of thing than I am. So, I don't think the guys will object. I'm going to turn the show over to you when we do that in about 2 minutes from now.
Oh, just kidding.
Though the first question I have for you though is about Wonder Woman. Is it a smart move to release this on Christmas Day on HBO Max?
For the consumers, yes, they've made the decision to leave a lot of money on the table. Obviously, if it's still coming out in the theaters, something needed to break this mold, and the movie has been delayed multiple times. They started marketing this like a year ago, so it's also burning holes in their pockets. So as a consumer, I love it, but then the slippery slope, the fact that it caused Warner Brothers to go like, you know what? Fuck all the next year. We're releasing everything on HBO Max. And then this backlash they got, these last 2 weeks has been incredible to watch because I could see both sides. But this guy who made this decision, unfortunately, Warner Brothers always makes dumb decisions. He did not do the thing you thought he did, which is go talk to your partners, talk to the talent, talk to the agents, but like, hey, we're going to do this. It's going to affect your contracts, your box office. No, he didn't ask it. He just said it first and started calling dudes later. And people were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I didn't know Trump was in charge of Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Sometimes it's they're notorious. Traditionally, make really dumb decisions they've had for years.
Well, they have definitely been doing that. So, all right, let's do this. We're going to talk some politics, but first, we're going to talk about the Mandalorian. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Imran here in 1 second. We had a Twitter poll where I asked a question on Twitter about what was the best nerd show of the last year, and the nominations that I put on there were shows that I watched, which was The Witcher, Watchmen, which technically was tail end of 2019, but it's been within a year. And technically, I didn't finish watching it until the 2020 anyway, so I guess it counts. The Boys season 2 and Mandalorian season 2. Now, I didn't know actually that Watchmen they're not going to do another season.
It's a one and done. It's a one and done. Why?
Oh yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, it's the story he wanted to tell. You also forgot it's been a great year for like crazy comic book television. The Umbrella Academy. You had Doom Patrol. And then those shows. That poll is really hard, by the way. I know right away I can just cross off The Witcher. Boo. I didn't like it. It was too confusing.
I liked it. I liked it.
I don't like it.
I didn't watch it.
Well, Mandalorian ran away with it. I think part of it was because of the fact that it's newer.
It's fresh.
So, yeah, there's some skew to that poll. But, polls are always right. So, but that being said, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the winner of this poll. Let's talk about the Mandalorian. So, Imran, this is Jock and Nerd 2.0 with significantly less interesting hosts.
Well, look, spoilers for listener if you haven't already watched.
If you haven't watched The Mandalorian, that's your ass.
Strap yourself in, you fucks.
It's been
spoiler time.
For God's sakes, strap yourselves down.
It's been out 3 days. What have you been doing? That's on you. But we are at the end of season 2.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Of The Mandalorian.
And I will say, if you guys don't want spoilers, maybe pause the episode, go watch it, and then come back and finish it.
I always like to warn people because some people they watch things at different times.
Yeah.
This episode titled "The Rescue," written by Jon Favreau, directed by Peyton Reed, who's the guy who directed the Ant-Man movies, and he did a couple of episodes. He did that episode 2 this year with the Frog Lady passenger.
Oh yeah.
That was the one that I didn't like.
Yeah.
You didn't like Grogu eating those eggs up?
That was amazing. He's such a menace.
He's an asshole.
Very anti-pro-life message there. So,
They were unfertilized. So what's everybody all mad about?
I mean, I feel like before we even get to this episode, look at what this show has given us this season. What an amazing season from Gideon, the Darksaber, Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand coming back. Bill Burr's episode was amazing.
Yes, it was really good.
Wow,
he's so good.
He was so good in that episode. Like, what a great dramatic actor who could still get it done.
He's like you almost can't take him seriously,
right?
Yeah,
in a way, because he seems like he's still himself. He's still Bill, right? But then so you think you're watching him on stand up. He doesn't really go into character. He's playing him as that character instead of him playing that character. You know what I mean? But it's like, but he still does such a good. It's still so enjoyable. The guy can't lose.
I just love the idea of like a Boston dude in the Star Wars world. These fucking stormtroopers.
We're going to the garden and we're gonna get a hoodie.
Wicked shit. This X-wing is. Come on, guys. So that's hilarious.
It was so Bill Burr the way he shot that fucker though, and the way he was asking him the questions, leading up to him blowing him away.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was like a stand-up routine almost.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and just the way he made Mando question his beliefs and his helmet off, which he does again this episode 2 times. But let's get to
two times.
2 times.
So how do you guys want to, just real quick? How do you guys want to do this? You want to start it at the end and go backwards and just do everything?
We'll follow Imran's lead.
I didn't know if either of you guys wanted to start in a certain place. Okay, so Imran, we'll go.
Imran, right.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. It's on you, Captain Whitebeard.
I mean, look,
Lost your damn mind.
We knew there was going to be a showdown. Let's start with this. We knew there was going to be a showdown, and they did give us Din Djarin versus Moff Gideon, actual throwdown. I love that whole scene when he finally gets to Grogu, and the dude is just standing there waving the dark saber around.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, you seen this? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, you were Bo-Katan. I know everything you're doing. All right. Let me tell you everything.
Just assume I know everything.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he still came across as excuse me, as fucking Gus from Los Pollos Hermanos. I was just like, yo, he is still fucking Gustavo Fring, like in every always super calculating, super intelligent, super poised. Giancarlo.
I wanted that
He
story.
always reminds me of the heroin dealer in Fresh. If you ever seen Fresh,
Was he in that? That was him.
he was a heroin dealer that had dude's sister strung out.
I mean, he was great in The Boys. Giancarlo Esposito.
He was he's
So
just
good in
great in everything, man.
He's very smart for his kind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know what?
that means the Creole from Louisiana type with good hair. Is that what you mean?
He's Chilean.
Well, that was the Stormfront quote, if you recall.
I
So-
remember, dude. I remember. God,
That's not a
damn
Jason
it.
Dutch. That's not a Jason Dutch quote.
Oh, that
So-
is most definitely Dutch's quote.
Definitely clipping that later.
He's
for
got that
blackmail.
shit tattooed on his freaking ass.
The
cheek.
price is wrong, bitch.
But I didn't think it didn't look like Gideon was much of a challenge for Mando there. And you know, the spear, the Beskar being lightsaber resistant, I think is very interesting because I didn't
Very
not know
cool.
that.
Very
You know,
cool.
they're able to pull that off. And then the Dark Troopers, them,
I gotta find myself a
was that a
Dark Troopers
retcon?
t-shirt.
they,
I
no,
gotta
they're-
find a Dark Troopers
the
t-shirt.
Dark Troopers are dope. The Dark Troopers are from a comic book and a video game, I believe.
Oh, the Dark Troopers are from a video game. I was talking about the
Yeah.
Beskar being impenetrable to a lightsaber. Is that a retcon?
No,
or
I
is that-
think it's been known in I think Rebels and Clone Wars. Rug Boy would know who's on my shirt, but that Beskar is lightsaber resistant.
he's
But
also in your pants.
yes, he's everywhere. He's on my face and chest. But to this
There it is.
effect, that this lightsaber resistant was wild. And I love the little touch where you see it getting red and hot.
Yes,
Yes,
I
that
love
was
that. That was
very
really
cool.
cool.
I was like, whoa, this might actually cut through the goddamn Beskar.
Or it's or when like they were doing like the power struggle thing and it's like the lightsaber's getting dragged through the wall. You can just like
Yes, it's just cutting right through
there's
the
little components in the wall are just bursting. I'm like, this is
You're
fucking
right,
well
Shamori.
shot.
You're right, Shamori. He will. You gave it. You gave it up to half pint. You got up to half pint. The best.
We
He's the
learned
best.
about the rules of the dark saber. This I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
It's got to be won in battle, which I think conflicts a little bit with what happened in Rebels. Because Bo-Katan used to have the dark saber, and her sister just gave it to her. Like there was no fighting for combat. So this must be, I don't know. This is a little new. But the fact that they left it where Mando is the rightful owner of Mandalore to the throne of Mandalore to the thing owning the dark saber, that was crazy.
King Mando now.
He is King Mando.
King Mandalorian. This is the way.
And then just the big reveal. Okay, who knew? Who I didn't know. When
I thought
saw
it was. I thought it was a Shooker. I thought it was a Shooker.
Yeah, see, that was I didn't get it. I didn't know when the first single X-wing came. I should have known then.
Yeah.
Okay, but here, all right. So let's talk about that scene real quick.
Yeah.
When did you think? Like, when did it dawn on you? Because I was like, when the X-wing, when the old girl was like, just one X-wing, great,
Yeah,
and then it
right.
lands, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm like,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
they're not. I'm like, no, they're not going to really do that, are they?
And then I saw
Yeah.
R2. I saw R2 sticking out of the butt.
Oh,
out of,
you
like
did
on the
see
top.
I did not. I
I
did
saw
not see
R2.
that. I
I
did
didn't
not
see
see
because
that.
because he rides right behind the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
behind
yeah,
the cockpit,
yeah.
and I was like,
When I saw
was
the
that
black
R2?
glove, when I saw
And then
the
I saw
black
the
glove
glove.
shootout,
Yes,
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, once he got out, once he got out in the hood, I was like, "There's only two possibilities here. It's Ezra from Rebels,
yeah,
or it's because Kanan is dead, right? Kanan Jarrett is dead, correct?
I think so
no,
from
I
the
don't.
video games, I think.
Yeah, from Star Wars Rebels, the one who trained Ezra. I stopped watching that series at the last season, so but I'm pretty sure his character is dead. So it was like it's either Ezra or it's Ashoka or
I
it's
thought it was Ashoka.
but it's got but I'm like
No, but the minute you see the green lightsaber, I was like, okay, it's not.
then it's him.
Ahsoka.
Well, and the
Yeah.
black glove.
But I love how they kind of paid homage to the scene at the end of Rogue One when Darth Vader shows up and slices everyone up. Fucking Luke does kind of
Yes.
the same thing
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And then the reveal. All right, so let's just get to the CGI. This is some fucking. I was staring at his face.
Yes.
I was like,
yes, me too.
did they do this? How did they? So, do you guys know how they did it?
Deep fake.
They took it from
Return of the Jedi.
The Boys. What show am I thinking of? Not The Boys. They took it from it was a nano mask from shit.
Mission Impossible.
Oh no, Agents of Shield.
Oh yeah, a little bit. But it's a dude playing the body double.
Yes.
And then it's a digital de-aged Mark Hamill, and it kind of looked like a video game. Did you guys think it looked good? Did it bother you?
I thought it looked
excellent. I thought it looked excellent.
Considering, I thought it looked fantastic.
Yeah, considering because how much money did that cost right there on screen? You could have
that was
hired
20 grand.
Sebastian Stan and saved.
I saw that.
You pay him for 20 grand, I guess.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan does look a lot like a young Mark Hamill,
just like him. But wow, so now they've done it with Princess Leia. They did it with Peter Cushing. They put a dude who was dead since 1994 in Rogue One and gave him a bunch of lines. That was wild.
They did the same thing in all of Count Dooku's fight scenes.
Oh yeah,
because I just started watching 1 and 2. Like me and my girl watched 1 and 2 today.
Because he died during that, didn't he?
Well, he was too old. He was like in his 70s, 80s when they shot the movie. So they deep faked his like they had a body double, and then they kind of like just put the CGI face over him. And I mean, with their arms moving and the lightsaber, like the blur of you can't even really tell it's not Christopher
Lee. Yeah.
Christopher Lee. You can't even tell. You can't really tell it's not him there. It looks like him. That's where they're kind of pulled back a little bit. The shots aren't super up close while they're fighting. But yeah, it's I was glad that they reuse some old technology and then put the face on there because that was perfect.
It was pretty creepy. It was eerie. I just kept staring at it. I was like, "Whoa, he's
I kept looking for imperfections. I'm like,
but they've gotten so much better. Like the first time that they really did it with Disney, I would say to any meaningful degree was when Tony Stark did his little hologram of himself. Yeah. And I think that because they were able to get away with that one not looking 100% great because of the fact that it was a hologram and it was a technology that he was working on at the time himself. So, you could forgive some of the slight weird, like because there's a psychological study that says that when something looks human, like 90% human, but not quite 100% human. It creeps people out. It has a tendency to make people feel uncomfortable. And that Robert Downey Jr. did. Yeah. This did not, though. This was like right there. I mean,
but this isn't like it's not a de-aging of a person. It's a complete digital reconstruction of a dude's face, what he looked like 30 years ago. This dude. So you have the dude now, but he's old, and so but you have film of it. It's just wild. I'm like, I couldn't stop thinking about it's how much of it was complete. It's just crazy, like a video game.
I loved it.
How did you guys tear up though at the end? I thought it was a very touching moment as Mando has to give up Grogu. This is the end of
I didn't tear up.
Adventure. No, some people, a lot of people.
My girl got. I looked over and she was a little glassy in the eyeball area, and I was like, "Oh, they gonna get you. They gonna get you." Yeah, he was just like, take your mask off.
Yeah, he's like,
take your mask off.
So that was the first time he's shown him his actual face.
He was like a Trump supporter. Take your mask off. Take your mask off.
You don't need that.
You don't need that here.
Yeah, take it off. Even though we're
sneeze as soon as you take it down.
Did you notice Pedro Pascal shaved off his mustache between episodes? This confused me. Last episode, he takes his helmet off. He's got a mustache. And I'm like, why do you have a mustache, dude? First of all, nobody can see your face. What are you doing? And then this one, it's shaved off. So
he heard you. He heard you.
Yeah, but when did you have time to do
this? The force.
You know what I was thinking, because that scene came after, obviously, an episode after he took his mask off the last time. So you get reminded that he was Oberyn from Game of Thrones, and when he's fighting the Dark Trooper, and the Dark Trooper smashing his helmet.
Oh my God, that's right.
You're like, whatever, after he stabs the Dark Trooper in the neck, you're like, okay. Because he's using a spear, just like he did against the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you do, you asshole. Don't taunt him.
Yeah.
That's a great Game of Thrones.
I was like, oh, oh.
This time the fucking Beskar held up like he was getting pummeled, and the fucking helmet. Hell, you should have been dead. It held up.
That's why I was like, I'm like, that robot's about to break its hand.
Yeah.
Like that's Beskar.
Don't you know that's Beskar?
You're about to bust your whole fucking knuckle assembly going on over there.
Yeah,
you're not getting in there, big guy.
It reminded me of when Deadpool punched Colossus in the nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I feel sorry for your wife. Breaks his hand and it's hanging there.
It's just shattered all the bones, and he's still like, yeah. That's he left.
And then that's not even it. All right, so it just ends there. Luke and R2. I love R2 showing up. That was great geek. I was like, oh my god, it's R2 too. What the fuck is going on here?
R2's the best.
They leave because Luke. This is after Return of the Jedi. He's building this temple that we find out about in Force Awakens. I have questions about that now. But they leave, and the whole Darksaber fucking who is the king of man just go on, just up in the air.
Just leave it there.
Yes. Then I did not notice. The post-credit scene caught me off guard. What is Anthony saying? Haas Eddie Moke from Coming to America. Yes, he is. Haas is dressed like Eddie Murphy from Coming to America. That's what Anthony's saying.
Where can I find a good American woman?
All right, Tony, come in here.
I would call Tony Disease Rhinoceros Pizzle, but
Tony, just grab your mic and jump. Just grab your mic, sit down at your computer, and jump on, Tony. Okay,
I'll send you the link, Tony.
Yeah, we'll
say it to his face, coward.
Hey, what's up, Flo State?
What up, man?
What'd you guys think of the post-credit reveal of? I'm confused what the next season is. Are we getting
so you're getting the book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, which is nice.
And we're gonna get another Mandalorian, I think.
But
I don't know about that. I think
shows at the same time.
No, I think that it is that season 3 is going to revolve mostly around Boba Fett. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay. I can deal with that. I like Boba Fett's my favorite guy.
Because they haven't announced a new show about Boba Fett. They talked about it in the past.
Well, they said the book of Boba Fett. So
coming December 2021. That was at the very end of the episode.
Did you see that?
Did you see the post-credit scene?
Right, but is the book of Boba Fett, is that a different series, or is it the name of season 3?
I think that is going to be 2 different series.
I'm hoping that it's going to be, we're going to get Mando 3 and Boba Fett 1.
Boba Fett 1.
I hope you are right, but I
Disney
think that is
money.
I think I just read that they did confirm that they are talking about 2 separate series. But that's a little much.
Then that's good.
It's a much. Do you really need 2 Mandalorian shows at the same time?
Fuck yeah.
Yes. What the fuck? Yes.
Okay, all right. They're just gonna sound.
Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian, though. He said so himself.
That's true. But I loved seeing Jabba's fucking castle. I had the toy set that was there.
Oh, cool.
And that's where the Rancor is.
Yes.
And Bib Fortuna apparently running the gangster business, and then Fennec Shand, they just shoot him. And now
he's speaking Huttese.
Newanawanga.
Boba Fett is gangster. Boba Fett is head gangster now.
Yeah.
Look over the
he sat on the throne, and I was just like, I'm fucking there. I am fucking here for this shit.
All in.
I'm here for this shit. Ugh. Are the Rancors okay? Has anyone checked on them? Have they been fed?
I don't know if they've been fed. Those Gamorrean guards.
Thank you, Flo. Thank you.
So they usually feed them the Gamorrean guards. And they freed the alien girl. I was very happy. The alien dancer. She had been chained there so long. The Twi'lek.
Twi'lek, right? I was about to say she's a.
They just had to go get another girl from the same species, like that. Her older sister was fed to the Rancor years before.
Mandalore season 3. Just put that thing back up that Anthony said. Mandalore season 3 is gonna be. You got to resolve this Bo-Katan Mandalore. He has the Darksaber. Season 3 about Mando trying to rule Mandalore and not wanting to be Mandalore like Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. I like that. And then Boba Fett, him being badass fucking gangster on Tatooine in Jabba's palace. I love that. Fuck.
If he takes over Tatooine, that's gonna be the coolest fucking show ever.
Will we see Grogu come back? Do you want him to come back? Is he off training for a while and then he comes back?
Yeah, I think it's going to be
a little 4-foot Grogu instead of a 1.5-foot Grogu.
That's as big as it gets.
I was about to say 4 foot is like
I don't think he gets to be 4
They don't get
feet.
that big.
That's too tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those little guys.
He's a
Luke put him
giant.
on. Luke put him on
He'd be
that.
playing center on the Olympic team for his species on the Olympic basketball team. I think that he'll come back a little bit more because the way that I understand it is that I don't want to say cocoon themselves, but when they grow, they go through life cycle spurts in that species, so that right now he's in like life cycle 2 out of whatever would be like 10 or whatever.
Right. Like 100 years would be like one
yes.
cycle or something, right?
Right. So his next stage when he comes back, I don't think you'll see him in season 3 until maybe the last episode.
Dude, imagine you're Luke Skywalker, right? And Yoda dies at 900 and you're there. And then 5 years later, this fucking creature reaches out and you're like, oh shit, there's another one. And maybe it's Yoda's kid. I don't know.
How long until Grogu actually talks? That's what I want to know.
Another 50 years? I don't know.
So that's the thing, though. So for us to get a mature Grogu,
Yeah, it's gonna
we're way past episode 9.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
like
like
before
years.
Yeah, he's gonna be there. Like it'd have to be Grogu episode 12 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd have to be so far in the future.
He's okay. So mathematically speaking, they said he's about 50 years old.
Yeah,
right.
But he's approximately 18 months, 2 years old, as far as cognitively.
Probably.
So Yoda died at 900 and something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that means that this is where it gets a little confusing, and it doesn't have to be because he's not human, so it doesn't have to.
Right.
I'm putting in humans' perspective here,
Right?
But like let's say that's they live 9 times as long as a human because 900 we live about to be 90, right?
Yeah.
But he is halfway to but he's already at 50, so that means that he's. So
5?
that means that he's about 5, but cognitively he's 2. So that part was a little bit confusing to me. But again, I'm putting it in a human term.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean they have to go by the same cognitive lineage that we do. But maybe if we see him again in a year and he goes through that next metamorphosis, like butterfly type transition, possibly. Something like that, then maybe he could be like 10 or 12.
This is a good question from Anthony because this is what I was wondering. Right. So Luke has Grogu, and we know Luke is looking for Jedi. He starts a Jedi temple. And we know that from Force Awakens, at one point, Ben Solo was part of this Jedi temple and went crazy and killed everybody. That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
So did Kylo Ren kill Grogu?
Maybe, but that wouldn't be for at least
like
20
years. Right. 20 to 30 years. But that's a possibility too. That's
from the time of the show.
Yeah. Adam Driver, if you fucking killed Grogu, you're a fucking bitch.
He probably did.
You piece of shit.
Listen, the point is, this is since Disney bought Star Wars, this is the best fucking thing they've done. So, because Kathleen Kennedy fucking stepped aside and said, Jon Favreau, do your thing. I trust you. You got a story. And Favreau's written all of it. It's one dude. He clearly had a plan. Kathleen Kennedy can give you 3 movies and nobody's talking to anybody else.
He's proven himself to be so much more than a good comedic
Favreau
actor.
is amazing. Give Favreau the Star Wars movie franchise.
He needs his own lightsaber.
Yeah. He needs to be in the movies. So, I mean, it's the second season better than the first. Best fucking Star Wars thing I've seen in a long time. Rogue One, I also love. And then this, since the Disney acquisition.
Rogue One's my favorite. What is your guys' favorite episode of this season?
Oh man,
start out.
It's so hard to say.
I like the when they opened up season 2 with the dragon thing.
The Crate Dragon was great. Yes,
the Crate Dragon was good and then like the Western one with the man, like it was kind of like that Western theme. That was really fun.
I love the 90s action directors like your Tarantino and stuff. So the Robert Rodriguez episode, where she jumps around and turns around and fires and the sun is in her back of the head, like badass 90s action. That was one of my favorite episodes. Jose Ibarra, Vader couldn't take out baby Grogu. Older Grogu is not getting taken out by Kylo's bitch ass. I agree with that. I think you're right. I think Grogu survives somehow or gets saved again. Also, who saved him? People are saying Mace Windu may have saved Grogu back in the Jedi Temple before at the end of Clone Wars.
Oh, got him up out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, they're or Ahsoka, I think, was there. They retconned that, if my memory serves correctly, during Rebels or Clone Wars. Though they kind of amalgamate those two in my head because she was in both of those series. But she was it had to have been Clone Wars because she was older in Rebels.
They got to bring back Mace Windu. Bring come on.
And Clone Wars was just like, if you look, listener, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars cartoons, at least if nothing else, go back and watch the episodes that feature Ahsoka Tano, which would be like season 3 and 4. There's a lot of Darth Maul in there, and there's rumors Darth Maul's going to be coming into the Mandalorian
I thought he was going to be the big reveal because I kept hearing all this shit, and I was like, oh, they're going to bring out fucking Darth Maul like towards the end, and he's going to be helping out fucking Gustavo Fring, and it's going to be this whole thing, and it was a totally different, very welcome surprise, but very different.
Unexpected. It was kind of unexpected. I was surprised. Are they bunking me deal? I was waiting for someone to say that.
Because they killed Maul again in Clone Wars, if I recall correctly.
You know what's funny? The holiday.
But he survived getting cut in half.
There's a Lego holiday special I watched. I don't know why.
Oh wow!
But there's a part where Darth Maul shows up and he doesn't have Lego legs. It's just the top. And he's bouncing around. It's really
well. The Lego Batman movie is the second best ever Batman.
No, it's all right. It's not.
I love the Lego Batman movie. I think it's just hilarious. Iron Man sucks, and he's like, "Oh, that's just so funny." It's like
best Lego Batman movie.
But could we be seeing Darth Maul show up in the Boba series? Maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's that's
possible.
a series.
There's an Obi-Wan series. There's everybody's getting a series. Then
you get a series. You get a series.
I want Bill Burr back in the Rangers show with Cara Dune. Bill Burr should get a show. I want to know what that dude's doing.
What's he doing? Yeah.
Well, the Bill Burr episode right now is it's hard to say. These last 3 episodes have all been so great and that's not to say the first 5 weren't good, with the exception of the Frog Lady episode. They were all really good, and like I couldn't get over it looked like Kermit. but the rest of the last 3 were just so nonstop and you thought episode 6 was going to be kind of filler, but it wasn't. It was like just full, like that. You had the Ahsoka episode and then the Bill Burr episode and then this episode back to back to back. And I think right now the Ahsoka episode is my favorite.
That was a great one too.
On top with just the whole rescue
and the aesthetics of how he copied that Kurosawa movie was just gorgeous. There was a couple of fillery episodes, but overall, like they delivered. They managed to like finish better and better.
Is it now hold on, you bring up a very good point, because is it that we've been let down so many times as of late that when a show is just I think this is reasonably great.
It's like listening to old rap music now from the mid-tier artists that we thought were mid-tier in the 90s and early 2000s, and you listen to them again now.
Yeah.
And the rap is so bad now. It's like, God, if these guys had come out now, they be ruling shit.
It's like if you only get McDonald's all the time, you go over someone's house and you have a home cooked meal at Billy's house,
right?
And they fucking hit you with a fucking pot roast and
Is this stovetop? Is this stovetop?
It's a gift from the gods. It is.
I think nostalgia is a big part of it. Because look, here's the thing: Favreau's been able to do what J.J. Abrams was trying to do and did poorly. Like, this is how you do fan service. J.J. Abrams is doing fan service, but it's pandering. It's almost offensive, right? And those new characters from the new trilogy, I don't really give a fuck about any of them. If they never come back, I'd have no problem. I'm not gonna miss them. What you're doing here is you're going into the mythos, respecting the backstory, giving you new great characters that stick true to the tradition, and he figured out a way to give you fan service in a good way. Like seeing Slave One and Boba Fett, like that's fucking fan service. But
oh my god, yeah,
the most badass Boba Fett's ever been, ever. It was amazing.
Yeah, and why do you think? I mean, I know he was really fleshed out in like some of the like comics and like video games and like other stories and stuff. But if you're just like a Star Wars movie watcher,
You're like, why?
What? Yeah, Boba Fett was in the fucking movie for like all of 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's
why
true.
does everybody care about this guy?
He was poorly used and too quickly killed.
Yeah.
You know, but let's be honest, he's not a good guy, you know, and that's the thing is that I think that was the part that they talked about at the end is that neither he nor Ming-Na Wen's character is actually good. They just have honor. So they're a lot like Venom, you know, or, you know, some of these other or Frank Castle. You know, they're a lot like those types of characters where they're human. They have good parts and they have bad parts, but they're
evil.
Yeah, and they're good, but also evil. And you know, so they're showing you that Boba Fett, while he has the capacity to have honor and to fight for what's right, he has a code exactly that he all. But his nature is he's scum and villainy, you know, and he wants that power, and he knows his place is with the bounty hunters, and he knows, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take this shit over. So like it's it shows I'm interesting as to how they'll flush him out as to be will he be somewhat more benign than Jabba the Hutt, or will he be maniacal?
It's like the Kingpin in Daredevil, kind of like he could go either way. Now, as for why he's popular, like Anthony asked the same thing. He goes, "Why do people like Boba Fett when he just died right away?" It's literally that
the way he looks.
That look, yes, that
he's cool as shit.
The best design.
I love Boba Fett.
That, yes, you wanted that toy, and you were like, you want that?
Oh yeah,
with the rocket,
with the rocket.
There's a reason why Pedro Pascal's armor looks exactly like his.
It's so sick. It's
iconic. It is iconic. It is timeless. The Boba Fett is timeless,
and it's so badass looking.
Yeah, and the thing is like, you know, for all of the other characters in Star Wars that were so much more fleshed out in the movies and everything, Boba Fett was always my favorite. I always loved Boba Fett.
I always was fascinated. I love that scene in Jedi where Han Solo accidentally hits his back and he flies into the Sarlacc. Where it turns. And if you notice the attention to detail, that's the other thing I didn't even talk about. The Easter eggs. They stuff so many things to appease hardcore fans in every episode. So Boba Fett's jetpack, you could see the repair or the damage in the same spot in the movie where Han Solo hit the jetpack. This is the stuff they've thought about. And there's so many amazing Easter eggs in every episode. It's astonishing. Like I get like half of them.
So Imran, do you think the season opener for season 2 with the crate dragon, that was a way of saying that Boba Fett was alive? And that Sarlacc pit that he fell into, the Sarlacc was eaten out of it, and that's how he escaped.
Possibly. I don't think they haven't. Nobody knows. Like the actor doesn't even know. But I think they mentioned that the crate dragon ate the Sarlacc, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
And then coincidentally, the fucking Jawas had his fucking armor sitting in that fucking giant ass ride.
It could be as easy as off screen he blasted back out with the jetpack, and we just didn't see it. I don't know. You know,
well, it depends. Like, so my opinion on this is somewhat warped by the fact that I read some of the comics, which I don't believe are canon anymore.
Oh, some of them.
This particular comic, I'm not sure, is because in this particular comic, Boba Fett survives the Sarlacc because of his armor itself, because he can't digest the Beskar.
Beskar, sure.
So he's somewhat like, I don't know, remember if he crawled out or harpooned his way out or spit out. I read this comic in the 90s.
Tamara Morrison had scars and stuff on his face. I thought it was very
he was partially digested on.
I was like, what happened there?
He looked a little Deadpool-y.
Yeah.
But the but in this comic,
because Beskar doesn't cover everything,
right? Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
he's not like a knight.
Just wherever you happen to get hit by a lightsaber, it's coincidentally the lightsaber.
Same thing with blasters.
Always hits you. They'll never hit you on the flexible part where you move your arms.
I love the inconsistent stormtrooper shooting all season. It's hilarious. Sometimes they're horrible.
They stick with that though.
But then other times they're like dead on, like hitting it right. He's hitting them right in the thing. Like what is it? Which is
they only have good aim when they shoot at things that can't be penetrated by their blaster.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's their rule. Also, how useless is this stormtrooper armor? Can someone tell me what good it does?
It's made
it
it's paper mache.
It does nothing.
What is the
paper
point?
mache. And the point of it is so that they're all one person.
They're all clothed.
Yeah, they're anonymous.
I love that moment in the last episode where Bo-Katan's like, I recognize your voice. I've heard it.
I've heard it 1,000 times. Oh my God.
He knows
Yeah.
that. He knows he's a clone. He goes, this belongs to my father. She goes, you mean your donor?
Your
I'm
donor?
like, oh, snap.
Damn, yo, deadbeat ass daddy.
Yeah. It's really so good.
You don't even know who your daddy is.
And they love flamethrowers for some reason. Always.
But apparently it's the same armor.
Yeah.
So he like repainted it or something
Yeah,
like that.
the fresh paint job was amazing. You've never seen it. I've never seen it that clean.
Yeah, they never really clarified whether or not that was the same armor that Django had, or.
Whoa.
But I guess they confirmed that now that was Django Fett's armor that he made a dark green instead of like a cyan type of color.
He made it his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to be a different color in Among Us.
So my question is this: even after watching episode 1 and 2 today, I'm still confused. Was Django an actual Mandalorian?
He was a foundling. So this is kind of a new.
He was a foundling. First foundling.
They said that.
Just like Din Djarin, he was a foundling, so that makes him part of. There's the sect. So there's two sects. It's this Death Watch cult member sect that's separated, and Bo-Katan was part of the other sect. So like they wanted people wanted war. So Django was a foundling, just like Din Djarin, who grew up as a cult member and didn't know it. So like the whole thing he's learning about, like, oh my God, I'm a cult member. I have these rules, and there's no reason. Like, why am I? What is the point of any of this?
So a foundling is for maybe some of the people in the audience who don't know. I know, but maybe just flesh it out for them.
I believe it's just the kid. They found the kid, like it was a little kid. That was
so they're just like an orphan that they picked up and brought into the
raised. As a Mandalorian.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you've converted to Judaism.
A little bit, a little bit.
Right. So you're a Jew because you decide to become a Jew.
Listen, his mother was Mandalorian, so that means he's definitely Mandalorian.
I've seen him. I've seen him eat the gefilte fish myself.
Man wants to call himself a Mandalorian. God damn it. This is a free Tatooine.
He's a good Mandalorian boy. Why don't you leave him alone, Gina?
Jesus.
I love when Bill Burr, when he comes out in the Stormtrooper, and Bill Burr's like, oh, if they could just see you on Mandalore now.
Yeah.
So stupid. He's like, how's it feel? Eh?
He's so great.
He jumps out of the transport, no helmet. He's like, fuck that. I'm not wearing this.
He's like, I'm taking this off.
Now, have you guys talked about this show yet on Jock and Nerd, or is that next week's show?
That's next week's show. We're like a week behind. So.
Yeah, you guys. They were Thursday thing, but one more Mike,
thing about
you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick on Bill Burr. When they're swapping out the fucking uniforms, and he's like, this guy's gloves are still wet.
It's still wet. Not wet. Wet.
But why is it wet? I don't know. I was like, ew, wet.
It's sweaty.
Because it's hot as shit and they're in that shit, man. It's crazy.
And I think that moment was so perfect for Bill Burr because complaining about shit, he's great at.
Yeah.
And as soon as something was going wrong, I was like, fucking wet fucking gloves. This guy never shaved for a month. And
I love when he's getting
hot shit.
He yells because he should have left me in the prison.
Yeah. You should have left me in the prison.
He's an expert.
Like, why do I gotta go? Why do I gotta go with her?
Yeah. And if
I like when he said, "Oh, I thought you were the other guy."
And then he comes down the ramp.
Yeah. Oh shit.
He's like, son of a bitch.
But if anybody hasn't seen Bill Burr's fucking complete rip on what was it, Pittsburgh or Philly?
It was.
It is.
Was that his SNL monologue?
No. This was him doing live stand up, and he started getting booed, and he refused to fucking get off the stage, and he just ripped the city apart.
Boston? What's the town with Rocky? Is that Boston?
No, it's Philly. It was Philadelphia.
It was Philly. Yes.
he ripped them apart for
he was
12
so funny.
minutes.
Yeah.
Like, your city sucks. You're never going to win any fucking championships. You're fucking worshiping a goddamn movie character. You ain't got shit. What do we got? 9 minutes, you sexist shit. I ain't done yet. And he just tore them apart.
And he wins. You hear him win the crowd over.
Yeah.
Right. And it's amazing to see the turn. But he's like, yeah, you guys got a real boxer. Yeah, you got a fucking movie star statue of this guy. It's not bad. It's like fucking Philly. And so they start booing him at the end. They're just fucking, they love him. It was amazing to watch.
It is the most beautiful train wreck I've ever seen. It's glorious. Shout out Bill Burr.
Yeah. So what do you, I want to know this. What are you guys looking forward to right now more? Boys or Mandalorian season 3 as it sits right now?
I'm a little high on Mandalorian, so I might say Mandalorian.
The boys. I like the boys a little bit more than the Mandalorian.
No,
okay, why?
More characters to dig into.
Yeah.
On a weekly basis, you got more characters to dig into.
Oh, baby Homelander, I forgot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I might have
Baby Homelander versus Baby Yoda. Go.
I mean, in terms of
Baby
plot,
Yoda might not even be on the next season, but we know that they're gonna do some Baby Homelander stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Haas is right.
Right. I mean, in terms of like meaty substance, the boys definitely has a lot more to chew on.
Yes.
You know, it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's sci-fi. But if that show was only 2 seasons, they kind of like ended at a good spot too. Like you saw the whole Baby Yoda journey. Your poll is really hard, Jason, because like I said, I'm throwing
that like a motherfucker.
Your poll's hard.
Imran.
I'm giving you easy ones. Come on.
My poll is really hard. Yes, it is.
Jason's like, thank you very much.
You are fake news.
I can't decide. I'm tossing out the Witcher, but like Watchmen.
Shout out to Blue Chews.
Watchmen.
Harder than Beskar armor.
Yes, sir.
Use code Jock and Nerd to check it.
I like him.
Watchmen, Mandalorian, and the boys. Watchmen was just amazing.
Oh,
and, like,
just amazing.
Predicted shit that happened months later in a really weird way, you know? That was alarming. And let me just remind you, like, Mandalorian's great. We saw Luke Skywalker, fucking brilliant. But when they showed you Dr. Manhattan existing in every moment in time at once, I've never seen somebody do that visually. It was fucking
magical. Great, man.
It was amazing. I was like, wow, that's what it would feel like. Like, because that's such a hard concept to get across.
Yeah. And the mask thing, obviously they were covering the top of their face, not the bottom, but you know, predicting that mask thing with
but the cops had masks. Remember the yellow mask the cops had?
Yeah.
And it was just very eerie to watch that again now. You're like, holy shit, this guy fucking, he saw this shit coming.
Not quite as predictive as Fezzik. I don't trust people in masks. They can't be trusted, you know, from Princess Bride in the 80s, but still.
I'm surprised Utopia didn't make your poll. But that's fine.
It still got canceled also.
Well, I didn't watch it. So
such a good show.
Pretty good. It's crazy.
I can't make there's this general rule in life. You can't make Dutch's poll if Dutch's poll
Dutch's poll is hard.
Yeah, is hard, right? But if Dutch doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about, I can't put it in the poll.
If only someone on the show with you said like 2 months ago, hey man, check out the show, it's really good, and you're like, yeah, I'm totally gonna check it out, and then you lied right in my face.
I don't even remember the conversation, but see, my wife and I has this with me all the time. She'll say, I told you we were going to do this for your daughter's birthday. And I'm like,
oh, you did?
I have no recollection whatsoever of this conversation. Yeah.
So, I didn't know you were a politician
before. Did he say you ever been mouth fucked before?
Yeah.
Yikes. I didn't know you was a politician.
You ever used mouthwash before?
No,
I'm using mouthwash right now.
My breath be stank-a-linkin. All right, so that was fun. It's nice. Let me just say this. It's really nice for the first time since like August. I think probably since the last time Imran's been on the show to talk about something that's not related to Donald Trump and this goddamn election. But unfortunately,
we're on a good streak. No need to break it now.
We have to break that streak. So there was a story that came out. Now, this is not a news story, but it's been getting a lot of pub recently. And I'm going to share this real quick here. Let's see here. This is an older story. but some of the information on Joel Osteen's church came out recently. The televangelists, megachurches, some tied to Trump, some not, are approved for millions. And actually, this figure is closer to about 4.6 billion, not millions. So when they say millions, they mean millions each church, right, in pandemic aid. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Now, I'm not completely against churches getting some pandemic money because of the fact that they were forced to shut down and they do have employees that work there. Okay, so for that matter, I'm not anti the churches getting money, but the amount of money that they got compared to some other small businesses, because while a church may support 40,000 people, parishioners, they don't have. It's not 40,000 employees,
right?
Okay, you're usually looking at let's say Harvest, Anaheim, Greg Laurie's church. They probably have, I would guess, this isn't guess here, but I would guess they have 100 employees, but they got dollar amounts close to what companies that would have 13, 14, 1,800 employees got. And then what are they using these funds for? Because you don't have to pay taxes at all. Yeah. So why do you benefit from the taxpayer? Why do this is very unfair. Now, again, I'm not criticizing the people who work at the churches. I think I'm fine with them because they had to be shut down. They didn't shut down on their own. They were told to, so I'm fine with the fact that they received some funds, but it seems that the amount of funds that they got for somebody who doesn't pay into the kitty to get to get more than a fair share of that kitty, to me seems wrong, Big Hussein.
This is exactly why I consider myself a what would you call it? Agnostic creationist.
Before you answer that, though, I just want to clarify something. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on you. It wasn't just Christian churches.
Oh no, I'm talking about organized religion in general.
I know, but I don't want to make this seem like I'm attacking Christian churches. That Muslim churches got money, mosques got money, Hebrew synagogues got money as well. So that's not an attack on Christianity. So I just want to walk that back a little bit. I'm sorry, I stepped on you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, this is why, to put it simply, I'm not big on organized religion. Because I just feel like organized religion was made by man. Man is flawed. Man is naturally greedy. Man is naturally corrupted by power. And pastors have power. Especially real man of genius. Here's to you, Mr. Organized Religion hater.
I need a new Bentley.
Shit.
God gave me a Bentley.
Right. Isn't it like did Joel Osteen
dog-faced pony soldier?
Didn't Joel Osteen get a private jet recently?
Mm-hmm. Well, Joel Osteen got money. Kenneth Copeland got huge amounts of money.
Yo, that Joel Osteen set,
Jesus,
wild.
Thank you, Jesus.
And then they'll be in church and look at God, look at God, look at that private jet, look at God.
Ain't got good.
But they still ain't putting on. They still ain't made no. The building fund is still going on though.
We're trying to build that new wing, y'all.
Right.
Yeah, we need to raise
so we can get the sick and shut in.
$20,000. Let's raise $20,000 for our missionary in Kuwait, who we are going to send $700.
Yeah.
But just so y'all know, to get me from this wing to the new wing we're building, I will need an Aventador.
Yeah, I need that new Lambo. I need that new Lambo SUV to get me over.
I need
you
just side door.
You just hit on it. Now there's. I don't want to blanket every church with this because there are some churches that don't. There are some churches that don't play this game, but like the church that I went to in Naperville, Harvest is now called High Point, right off of 88.
Yep,
can't miss it. Ron Zappia's church. They raised money to build a new gym. The reason why they did that was because they wanted to use it as an outreach center. Now, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, the gym was like the way that they brought people in for open gym for basketball to play basketball. And then, they would say, and I thought it was fine. The kids would be in there. They'd be in a safe environment, with no guns, no drugs, no fighting, that sort of thing. And they'd get some experience to what you might call positive ethics. But there was nothing wrong with what they did whatsoever. And Harvest, they wanted to build a gym. So they built this gym, and I think 93% of the dollars that went to it, they put out a financial report and everything that said, hey, this is what all this money that you guys put into this went to this gym. However, I think, and I don't have facts to back this up, but I've seen enough stories out there that I would say well over half the time, if not the vast majority of the time, the funds that actually go to the outreach are minimal compared to what goes into the pastor's pockets. There are reasons why, comedians rip on priests a lot, and why they're depicted in movies like Friday and stuff like that as being, the richest guy in the neighborhood.
Now, my favorite preacher that is satirized is the one in "Don't Be a Menace to South Central" while drinking your juice in the hood. With the close second being the preacher in Vampire in Brooklyn. Those two. But my man, when he said, you get hot, you get bothered, you get hot and bothered. And when I want you to do when you feel like that, I want you to call me. I fell out. That's amazing, especially because time after time after time after time, you see pastors getting caught up in entanglements, as Miss Pinkett Smith would say, with men and women, So
thank you very much to
whoever big underscore tatas is so brave with the avatar as your profile pic there.
Hey, dude, guess what? Your name sucks.
Yeah,
take old biddies.
That how I know you're a guy.
There's probably more people that agree with him that don't, but whatever.
That's fine. That's fine.
We're there for six people.
Well, Mr. or Miss Big Tatas, what would be your advice to make it not boring for you, since you obviously want attention?
I put it in the chat. I was like, well, if you have a question for the panel, feel free to ask. And they have yet to respond. So
well, maybe they're gone already.
I missed them already. Big Tatas, come back!
Oh,
please come back to me.
I'm gonna send them a message on Twitch.
Please don't go.
I don't want to lose them.
Please don't go.
I can't lose them again.
Please,
not again.
No, the first time was unbearable. I can't manage going through it one more time. It'd just be horrible. Imran, from the dirty, horrible terrorist Muslim point of view, what do you think?
Well, look, I remember going to the mosque.
Not about big tatas. I mean,
I remember big tatas back when they were just tiny tatas.
Big tatas.
Big tatas used to be small tatas, and then
tater tatas.
They drink a lot of milk,
and we love them all, though, every step of the way, right?
Yes, of course. Everybody's welcome, all colors, all sizes.
That's right.
Yeah,
I was actually having that conversation with my wife today.
Oh yeah.
I said the only types of boobs I don't like are the pitters.
The pitters.
Yeah, pitters. When they lay back and they go back in here in the pit.
They flap backwards.
Yeah, I don't like them.
He said the pitters.
I call them pitters or grandma clumps.
You got to get blinders. Then you just get Tata blinders that you just put on top, and it keeps it. I don't know.
I throw my titty over my back.
Like the guy from The Boys throws his wiener over his back.
Yeah.
I felt this sharp pain in my chest, and I looked down, and I was standing on both titties. Eddie is an idiot for that.
We're talking about fundraising in mosques. That's all. Only
getting the pandemic funds is what we're talking about. I mean, the fundraising is one thing. People. They don't always give the money to where they say they're going to. That's a problem. However, getting the pandemic funds when they're tax exempt.
I do see places doing food pantries and shelters run by churches and organizations, and that stuff needs to continue to be supported and kept up. So
of course,
but how do you know where the money's going is a good question. You don't.
Well, there's no system of checks and balances.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there are some that are great, like out Pacific Garden Mission in Chicago. Fantastic charity. Okay. And these people, you don't even have to agree with Christianity. There's nothing at all bad about feeding homeless people.
100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like they're and I think that Pacific Garden Mission, I believe that they're like 99% volunteer.
Yeah.
They have like 7 employees. So they give about 98.5% of their funds directly back into the community. Wow. Fantastic charity.
Yeah.
But we don't want to paint with too broad. So we don't want to paint with too broad of a brush.
Right.
But I would think that the vast majority of these religious-based charities, when they're church-based especially, what do you need for $46 million? What is Joel Osteen,
who gets so much money anyway?
Yeah.
And Joel Osteen is not a Trump guy.
Oh,
at
really?
least not overtly.
Oh,
he may very well be. He's a prosperity gospel guy, but I have seen nothing where he has come out and said anything
that's
pro
bad
or negative.
That's bad for the business model.
Here's the thing about Joel Osteen. Now, full disclosure, a brother used to watch Joel Osteen every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look at you
when the hurricane, what was it? The hurricane hit Houston. Sandy, and he did not open his doors.
Oh, right.
That freaking big, massive place for the public.
That place, his house of worship, is the old Houston Rockets arena.
Yeah,
it holds 20,000 people.
Right,
more than that.
When he didn't open those doors, and he came out with that milquetoast ass excuse as to why, I said,
too many black people would go in.
That's some bullshit.
Fuck out of here, dude.
Wow.
You're going to take their money because a lot of them people that were displaced come to your church or watch your church and send money to you. And then you do that, I'm out.
Man, Flow State's got a good comment. Almost all charities are hustles, unfortunately. And I want to help. Obviously, I want to help.
Oh, he said the Clinton Foundation.
I like that. So how do you know?
Did they dissolve their foundation rather than face legal scrutiny? That's what I want to know.
Red Cross.
Because I know of a foundation that did do that.
Are they allowed to operate in the state of New York?
Right.
Oh shit.
I know one that's not.
Our Republican friends just can't get through 5 minutes without mentioning the Clinton Foundation in some way.
I don't know what their hard on is for the Clintons.
My McDonald's was really stale today. It's George Soros and the Clinton Foundation.
Soros, man.
You know, the
fucked up my McNuggets.
Soros.
Clinton derangement syndrome is very prevalent in the extreme right.
Yes. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Flow State, just grab the link and jump in. We don't care. But
I'll grab him. You want him in? I'll grab him.
Whoa, pause.
Whoa.
Grab him by the short and curlies. You know.
I'll grab him.
What is he? The guy from
Two Hands Pepper Grinder?
Yeah. All 4 of us can work on his.
Yikes!
Put him in the middle.
Not doing that. Y'all are on your own.
Negative.
Me and Grogu are over here in the Force Jism stream. We don't need
any.
Definitely, that was the Force Jizz stream. Grogu was in the Force Jizz stream for sure. That's
it's.
That I like.
He said it wasn't
all right.
jab.
There is some kernels of truth
we reserve the right to make fun of everyone.
Flo, we're gonna catch you, and we're gonna give you that. We're gonna give you the jab every time, man. It's all love.
Yeah.
If we didn't love you, we wouldn't talk about you.
That's why we just invited you to come on. Now,
what
I do want to know though, Imran, is do you have any experience from your time with jizz streams? No, from your time with with being a practicing Muslim. It's not a natural white. It's a fox white. But do you have any experience with Islamic based charities and is there anything Islamic based from the Muslim church where you could speak to what they do in the community and how much of those funds go there? Or is that something that you have no info on? I'm just curious.
I mean, I just know from growing up, it's similar. They're always asking for donations, and you're also charity is one of the 5 tenets of Islam. There's 5 pillars.
The 5 pillars, right?
One of them is charity. So yearly, you're supposed to give a percentage of what how many cows you got that year. You give a percentage, but it's literally sometimes it isn't meat where you go around and you give like goat meat and cow meat to like homeless people or underprivileged people. But they're always asking for money, all right, which is I understand. But the level at that Joel Osteen is nuts compared to what I'm used to with like
that raises a good question. Are imams typically doing pretty well financially?
I don't know. There's no central organization is the thing, everybody is kind of on their own in the Muslim structure. There's no like Pope, right? But there is scholars and imams. They're running the same way. They're running off donations and help from the people. So I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I've never seen a Muslim like televangelist who's rich. Maybe there is. I'm sure there is.
That was my question. I was going to say,
you think
Imran,
I trust Islam? You're insane.
Have you ever had like in the Islamic community like this breaking news that this place of worship is actually on some crazy stuff and
funds have
money.
Been misappropriated?
Yes.
No, largely what happens is people don't want you to build the mosque in your neighborhood. That happened around generally here. What happens first.
Sacha Baron Cohen proved that.
Yeah. The funds aren't the issue. The issue is people like, no, we don't want this here. Right. And they'll spray paint some shit on the side of the building and throw shit at it. But you just have to, like in Morton Grove, they finally built an awesome school. There's a full-time Muslim school and there's a domed mosque with like a minaret. It's very tasteful. It's amazing.
We know it's not a school. It's actually a terrorist training camp.
It's a sleeper cell training site.
There is a shooting range out back. I don't know why.
Right. They're making ball bearing bombs down in the
they have fertilizer delivered there weekly.
Right. But they don't have a lawn. I don't know what's going on. They're not growing a goddamn thing.
Listen, we're not, just to be clear, we're not all terrorists. All right. Let's people.
Right.
You have no evidence of that?
It's a good point. You don't know any other way.
So
that's exactly what a terrorist would say, Imran.
It sounds like what you guys are describing is an unknown.
Hey, despite all the times I talk about my kids and you see them here, I'm you know that I'm probably a deadbeat dad. Come on. You know that.
There's no question that's true.
Right. You've never seen it, but you know there's a big bowl of watermelon right here.
And it's right next to the camera. It's right next to the fried chicken.
Right off camera. I go like this. Then I come back.
Watermelon, chicken, and chitterlings.
Right. And hypodermic needles. I got a buffet. I got a buffet of IV drugs.
You got some red pop.
This is how you now I probably do have some red pop.
So this is how you know
racism. Coffee.
This is how you know racism is stupid, because like red pop or would be attributed to black people. Mm-hmm. Everybody know what Green River is in Chicago.
Yes.
Everybody know what Green River is, but don't nobody bring up Green River.
I like Green River.
They churched it up. No, it's not.
All white people are raised on Green River in Chicago. Okay. It flows. If you cut a young 10-year-old's wrist,
people bleed.
The blood is green. Okay. It looks like it's
Green River.
That's what they put in the river to make it green on St. Patrick's.
A Green River milkshake is quite tasty.
See, that's nasty.
Shouts out to
Flo, I kind of agree with you there. All schools are brainwashing camps.
Oh, there's
I definitely,
So
I don't know about all, but most.
I remember my point. Upon all this, the government giving out money to all of these to churches, corporations, businesses as some sort of stimulus and some sort of relief. Now, some people are really struggling during this pandemic.
Yep.
Right. Some people are not.
Yeah.
I feel like it should not be upon the taxpayer who is already struggling to take care of these things.
Jeff Bezos has never made more money than he has like in the last 8 fucking months.
Right.
So why are we over here arguing about how much money Joel Osteen has taken in when we haven't said shit to Amazon, we haven't said shit to Apple, we haven't said shit to Spotify, we haven't said shit to none of the people who because 44 million is fucking chump change when it comes to the actual numbers and the actual sales that some places are taking in.
Here's the thing.
Hold on. So instead of us focusing on this 44 million, which is obviously a distraction and a red herring, the more obvious party that should be paying for this is the motherfuckers who are actually raking it in hand over fist right now.
Yeah. But to that point, that anger towards them is still misplaced. What we should be angry at is Congress,
who won't tax them,
who won't say, you are clearing, if Joel Osteen, you don't need that. Mikey needs that. Hassan needs that. Imran needs that. Dutch needs that. But we get what? $600.
And I was going to say this earlier because Dutch was like, oh, well, they probably have like 100 employees. So I could get how they should get some money because they're employees, but
they could dip into their coffers and do that.
No, Homeboy he's worth all of the money they would ever need. All of the money they would ever need. So why the fuck am I financing their shit?
Yeah.
When
that's
their
the thing that
CEO is a fucking millionaire.
No. Fucking multi-billionaire.
Multi-billionaire, right? And that's the thing is like
he's a billionaire.
I'm talking about Bezos.
We're talking about Bezos.
I thought you were talking about Osteen. I was like,
he's in the hundreds of millions, I think.
Osteen's up there.
So why can't he float the people their fucking paychecks?
So you've just hit on the exact issue.
He makes that an interest in 36 minutes.
Yeah, you've hit on the precise issue here. Here's my precise issue. Is that Congress, when they appropriate these funds and they distribute and they allocate these funds that are, I should say, when they allocate the funds that are appropriated,
$100 million.
They do it.
That's Joel
in a very socialist way. In that they distribute it evenly. In general, there are some guidelines. There are some maximums in some of these cases, but in the cases of businesses, there's no maximums. In the cases of the churches, there was no maximums because the richest churches got the richest funds, the richest businesses. AT&T, I think, got more money than any other company. And AT&T employs a shit ton of people, and I get that, but at the same time, they didn't exactly, AT&T. We don't see any news stories about AT&T having to lay off any more people than they always have. AT&T, they call their layoffs. I know this because I used to work there. They call their layoff surplusing because they look at it as we have a surplus of employees,
of people, so we get rid of them.
So
how much are they paying federal taxes?
Whose nephew at the board meeting came up with it's a surplus of employees.
Yes. And
we can make two people do that $40,000 a year job.
Right, and let's not forget that AT&T kowtowed to Trump because he let them buy CNN. Well, not buy CNN directly, but buy Warner Brothers. Yeah. So which included CNN, and he didn't want to let that happen. So big donation. Guess what? Nobody fights it. So it's but that being said, the businesses that have suffered the most are these smaller churches. The ones on your corner, who have a pastor,
Amy Zion Church,
right? Who have these pastors who live in, a 1,800 square foot house. Not to say that that's not okay, but those churches did not get as much the funds that they need, and more so your local businessman, your plumber, your air conditioning guy, etc. Those guys have been more or less forgotten by both political parties. Okay.
Agreed.
So the Democrats, let's not pretend though there are many people who think that we're a leftist show. Okay. Now you're wrong because corporate Democrats are they're worse than the Republicans because they pretend to be on the side of the little person while fucking them in the ass. At least the Republicans are honest somewhat about their agenda, but you think that CNN and MSNBC don't love corporate fucking Democrats? They suck their cock daily and cover for them. They cover for them nonstop.
It's real when he says cock.
They suck their cock.
I just saw Bernie Mac stand up, and he was talking about how white people get mad and they go cocksucker,
you asshole.
again, to quote Deadpool, I'm touching myself tonight. These guys, I mean, the guy who lives 4 houses away from me owns an air conditioning company with 2 employees.
Wow.
Guy got like $1,700. That pays. That pays.
There you go.
From the stimulus package.
Wow.
For what?
Now, he could be lying to me, but
is he a Trump guy?
He told me he got like 7. Surprisingly not. But though though you would assume by where he lives and everything else about him that he would be, but he's somewhat not. Maybe they knew that, so they said, "Oh, he's not a Trump guy," so they gave him less. I don't know. That's false. I'm just making that up.
Let's check his donations.
Yeah, let's check. They checked his donation. Oh, I think we have. I hear a beep.
We got a boop.
We got a booper.
Can someone open the door?
I got you. I was gonna let you finish your thought, but no, look at this guy.
No, okay. Oh, hey, look, we ask and we shall receive. Welcome back, Flow State. So
I changed into our fraternity colors.
All right, so we have 2 guests on the show. Imran from the Jock and Nerd Comic Book Podcast. Meet Flow State, registered Proud Boy.
Proud Boy.
We don't keep a registry, and
most handsome, most handsome Caucasian on our show.
Well, that's a low bar. Okay, so
you lost your damn mind.
Still winning.
But he was there, and then
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. These companies, just to finish my thought, the smaller companies are the ones who have been more or less forgotten about. It's these companies that have 13, 14 employees or less who are largely completely overlooked by these government stimulus.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
because they don't have tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to donate.
All right, Flow State, what are your thoughts on what we're talking about?
I absolutely agree with. I mean, it's bullshit that basically Walmart and Amazon just monopolized retail across the globe almost. And I think the whole thing has worked so perfectly to funnel wealth to the absolute tip top. I don't believe it was an accident at all. I think it's absolutely intentional.
You sound like a liberal.
I'm a weird thing.
Whoa. Pause. I thought I was a weird thing.
But my answer is not adding more government to the problem government created. So I think that's where I pull conservative is in the solution.
No one's look, being big government, and I've said this before, I don't think I've said this lately, so I'll say it again. Being big government and small government, or being pro big government or pro small government, that's a philosophical conversation that we can have all day long, and we can have a friendly disagreement on it. I'm not pro big government. I'm just saying that's a philosophical thing.
It's a mechanical one. They operate differently. Like just
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that particular here's what you've just done. You've made, to your credit, you've made an actual real political conversation for the first time in 2020. Someone's done that. So
Bro, I did this last time I was here.
Yeah, but like
he wasn't listening. Don't worry about it.
I never. Again, my wife tells me I never listen. But I'm obviously making a joke too. You do get comedy, and I'm a professional comedian. Okay.
Oh yeah. True.
But like there are certain political silos that you can have reasonable disagreements on and have reasonable discussions on, and this is where the history of reaching across the aisle and meeting halfway have been for this country have been historically successful in a lot of instances up until the last
12 years,
10 years or so. 12 years or so.
Mikey's generation is really fucked up.
They fucked everything up. He fucked the show up.
Me and him are the same age.
I'm a year older than you. I'm in the cutoff.
Yeah, fuck off. No, you're not. The cutoff was like 5 years in front of us.
1986 is the cutoff.
No, it's not. You made that up.
Okay, so real quick, just because you're on the show with the king of all comic book nerds, Flow State, you need to tell Imran, what is your favorite comic book character?
I was hella into the Wolverine comic books.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a bunch of them at my parents' house. I got 50, 100, 150, all the hologram ones.
Oh wow,
Wolverine.
Why Wolverine?
Look at him.
Yeah, I mean, what
He
he's
looks, like
Canadian.
he looks like a Wolverine guy. You know what I mean? He's got that gruff look to him.
I appreciate that. Even though I don't know.
No, it wasn't meant as a. It wasn't.
I know, but
as the young people say these days, no cap, no cap.
It just landed there. I'm taking it as one. I don't know. When I was growing up and reading comic books, it was a really well run series, and he is a badass character.
He is.
He's one of the most badass. Did you like Hugh Jackman? His run as Wolverine.
You know, he wasn't bad, but when you spend your childhood reading the comic books, you kind of have there's an image in your brain that no actor is.
Yeah, that's not what my image was too. It's not.
Right.
Picture
what did you fantasize him to be, Imran?
I mean, he's more squatty and broad and thick.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is way more prettied up than Wolverine. Wolverine's like a savage little midget.
But Logan though was a fucking masterpiece. That was finally seeing Logan on screen.
It was good.
Yeah, that movie was fantastic. So what do you just real quick? I'm going to try to take this an interesting way, but before I do this, what would you want to see out of an MCU Wolverine flow state?
That's a good question.
And
who would play him?
My nerdiness kind of ended it when I discovered beer and pussy.
Yeah.
So again, he'll ask the question.
That sweet pink patty pie will get you every time, dude.
It's so much better than comic books.
100%.
There's no argument there whatsoever.
Yeah, man, you got a point.
Some good comics out there, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the politics of comic book movies these days?
I'm not aware of them.
Are you getting sick of them? Have they like kind of started to get formulaic or like repetitive?
But the comic books themselves were political.
Oh, they've always been political. Yeah.
They're archetypical or something.
Right.
Archetypical, yeah.
Yeah. I just don't watch a lot of movies. That's a lot of sitting still.
That's a great way to end the conversation. Thank you very much.
I don't have an answer to that. I did watch the last Deadpool. That was good.
Here I had this great idea.
Okay, here, let me do you a better answer. I don't need to do you like that.
How do you want to do them? Go ahead.
Well, okay, let me ask you the question like this. So what do you think about instances where they change the race or the gender of like a comic book character? Would you be okay with like a black Batman?
They have one.
It would only bother me because I don't like PC maneuvers, just because they're PC maneuvers. Aside from that, I'm okay with variations from the comic books across the board. But when I feel like somebody's shoving their agenda down my throat in a piece of entertainment, it just grates me.
So Imran, where has the casting gone wrong? And what would you say is the biggest example of a comic book reappropriation of a character that's gone wrong?
Oh man. Well, you had the ancient one in Doctor Strange. I thought this was they did this because of a political move where instead of the ancient one in the comic book who trains Doctor Strange as an old Chinese man, they made it a bald Tilda Swinton for some reason. And it still kind of works.
Name. Yeah, that's her fucking name.
Tilda Swinton. So, but that was a move to not anger the Chinese audience.
That's what I don't like.
The Chinese market is very big. Yeah.
But she did really well though.
She did. And it turned out it was very good and it worked.
I didn't see the movie.
Here's a story.
Motherfucker.
DC has announced a new Batman. John Ridley is writing a new Batman series, and the new Batman is a black man. And it works into the mythos of Batman as this. His name is Tim Fox. He's
Lucius Fox's
son.
Lucius Fox's son is now the new Batman.
That's badass,
right? But he's a second generational Batman. He's taking over the reins from Bruce Wayne.
Well,
They're not.
So like Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
It's so well done. It's organic. It was so perfect, and he's an amazing character. Like that always should have been there.
Miles Morales is a different. So what I'm talking about though is like I love the Miles Morales character.
You're talking about like a Peter Parker,
right? Like so like I could not believe if they were to say that Bruce Wayne was a black person, like for a new Batman movie. Like let's say that Robert Pattinson was not cast as Batman, and let's say like Michael B. Jordan was.
Right.
That's not to say Michael B. Jordan couldn't pull off Batman, but the idea that Bruce Wayne,
you got to think
someone
about
with generational wealth,
right,
from the 1800s would be a black person, to me would be a bit odd because black people didn't have generational wealth in the 1800s. So that would
some black people didn't have generational.
But y'all didn't say shit about Christian Bale, who's British.
But there's
why the whole construct breaks down, because what do you mean by white and what do you mean by black?
Yes, but there's a difference between having. Let me clarify this though. There's a difference between having wealth and having power. Okay, you can have wealth and not power. They don't necessarily have to come in hand to hand. And the Wayne Enterprises is like this enterprise that transcends all of life. For that, it would be ironic and hard to sell to me for that particular character. Now, Superman, on the other hand, is an alien. He could come down green.
Yeah.
You could rewrite Superman to me at any point in time as a woman or a man or any color. He is not that way. But like you couldn't do like a character that was like John Henry Jones and make him Asian. That wouldn't make any sense.
But you're trying to put real life situations in a clearly fantasy realm. It's a fantasy world, and that's what I think is so disingenuous and so dishonest about people when they have these arguments. Oh, there's no way Bruce Wayne could be black because historically black people haven't been rich.
I think of it like this though.
It's like
Mikey.
That's the only. There's like
Gotham.
Yes, but there's like 6 characters in all of the comic pathos that I would have any resistance to them changing, because I'd be like, well, you still have to have that. The beauty of comic books is that they reflect real life and that you can view yourself as that person. I have no issue with 90% of what they do, but there are certain characters and certain examples where the believability has to equal something in actual life to make that character somewhat believable, so that whole genre that surrounds them can be bought into by people and they can kind of place themselves into it or become a fan of that.
So because
it's not an alternate reality, it's supposed to be this reality.
I'm I am for diversity and everything, but I think for a character, I think we've talked about this before. For a character like Bruce Wayne, Batman, I think that for us who have come up with Batman, it makes it harder for me to come out and say, "Oh, Bruce Wayne is now black." No, I've grown up with Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Now, for the newer generations who did not come up under that history, I think then it's more acceptable and more, more of one of those things where they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine," because they've seen Christian Bale, they've seen all these other people, George Clooney, play Batman. So for them, it's like, oh, they change Batmans all the time anyway.
Dude, that's why
we've got 30, 40 years of Batman.
But everyone suspended disbelief so that fucking George Clooney could be the smartest detective and a fucking martial arts master.
And then people hated the movie.
So that's what I'm saying. Y'all let that shit fucking
the thing about comic book characters is and it's, I don't think it needs to be drug into a racial, if anybody has racial biases, debate at all. When you look at a movie, you want the character to look like the character in the comic book.
Yeah.
You want to be able to visually recognize them off.
That's what I'm saying, Flo.
Right.
It's like I grew up reading Batman, and I watched the first Batman, and so for me, it's like
I think
that's not believable to me.
Bruce Wayne being black would have the same problem that Wolverine being tall would have.
Right.
It's
Logan was a masterpiece. It was such a great piece of work. Hugh Jackman did a great job. But then, but if he was tall, Hugh Jackman is tall.
He's 6 feet tall.
I mean,
So
he's not rocking the short
just
thing, but if you saw him in the group of X-Men and he was like head and shoulders taller than the others, if he was
in his defense, though, in Flowstate's defense, he did say that he didn't like the Hugh Jackman representation all that much earlier before we talked about this.
Now, I have a quick tangent because I know me. I played running back for a long time, so it's hard for me to remember stuff. I want to ask Flo this question.
It's hard for me to remember stuff.
Oh, dude,
I got a fucked up memory too.
Yeah, I want to ask because I'll forget, and I don't have my pad and paper here to write it down. Flo, as a Proud Boy, what are your thoughts on the burning and the taking and burning of the Black Lives Matter flags from the historically black churches?
I think that it is. I have no problem with it. It wasn't racially motivated, and it's getting spun. I mean, you know that the leader of Proud Boys is black.
For me, Herman Cain is black.
So
he was,
and I'm not trying to get into this debate about, but
I'm just saying,
we Proud Boys know for a fact, and you may disagree, but we know BLM is a front for communism. That's it. So it was an attack on communism, basically.
So Black Lives Matter, the organization, or Black Lives Matter, the statement?
The organization and the sentiment are completely different things.
Yes, but you do realize that they have two different flags. The Black Lives Matter organization flag is yellow with black print. The Black Lives Matter statement flag is black with white bolded letters. They're completely different.
I do not know that, and I'm not sure that think you're
completely. It's 100% accurate.
True.
Black Lives Matter organization is yellow and black. There is no yellow in the traditional Black Lives Matter flag.
Banner like that.
Well, I can pull. I can Google them right now and pull it up. So Imran, let me ask you this: as a guy who's, and I know that you're not like a practicing, religious Muslim. You're a secular
I'm the worst Muslim ever.
Yes, but like, if someone were to say to you, with respect to Flow State here, I'm not saying that I'm not saying you don't believe what you're saying is true. However, if someone were to say to you, Imran, that there was some burning or vandalism at a mosque, but it wasn't anti-Muslim, how would you respond to that?
I mean, I would say, let's have a conversation instead of burning shit outside. What is this message that you're receiving? And that, that some of the mosques I've been to have had vandalism, and it's never a nice feeling. And
so now let me reframe the question. How would you feel if a color revolution came in and started claiming they were Muslims when they're clearly not, in order to get shielded by that claim of discrimination and fraudulently flying under that banner?
I see what you're saying. So if you're saying someone came in as a Muslim group, in Islam, you're going to give the person the benefit of the doubt, and you'll know that if they are true, so I don't know. That's interesting question.
So
I wonder.
I have an answer. I have an answer to that question. Hi, little sneaky sneak. So as an American, when I see Proud Boys flying the American flag, I feel that's an affront to the American flag. Should I be able to rip that flag out of their hands and burn it?
No.
Well, then you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you just want to break it down, that pulling something off someone's building and burning it is vandalism. That's not right.
But just real quick here. I don't mean to like
interrupt. That would have been the best answer you could have given in the first place.
This flag right here is a Black Lives Matter flag. This represents the statement that Black Lives Matter. This has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter organization whatsoever. This flag here, right here. Mm-hmm. So let me finish my thought here. I don't know where.
Close the other one.
This actually, this isn't even the one that it's the same. This is the official flag right here of the Black Lives Matter organization with the 3 yellow lines. Haas, can you confirm that this is accurate?
100%.
Okay. So if you see the white and black flag,
that's the flag that's flying outside my front door, is the black and white flag.
That has nothing to do with the political organization. If you want to say I disagree with this particular standing or this particular thing that the Black Lives Matter organization stands for, go right ahead, knock yourself out. I'll probably stand next to you on 1 or 2 of those issues. But the other flag, the black and white one, has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter organization. And from the group, again, no disrespect here, but from the group who always says, do your own research, do your own fucking research.
So I'm looking at the Black Lives Matter website right now.
Yeah, it's all black and yellow.
Got yellow and black. They've got yellow and white and black. And they've got a lot of stuff on here that's black with just white lettering, no yellow, no stripes. That banner was black with white lettering. There was no stripes.
Okay,
so,
here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to make this statement and you wanted to burn a Black Lives Matter flag as a protest to communism, why not bring your own fucking flag and burn it yourself? Why would you go to a historically black church, take their flags, and burn those? Well, that's the problem, because these churches are historically black, and I know that the Proud Boys organization knows what they were doing there, because these churches are that's very ignorant. Then that would be very ignorant of history.
So when that happened, we had been. I mean, I know you were watching the stuff and the fights going on and shit. Antifa and Proud Boys have been fighting for like 3 hours across DC. A group of few guys grabbed a flag on the way back to where we were all huddled up. It was more of a heat of the moment, rah, rah, rah. Oh, look, let's grab that thing. It wasn't planned out.
But it was 2 different churches. Two different historically black churches.
I only saw 1. There may have been 2, but
So let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
So the Proud Boys mantra, one of their mantras in their statement of, like, their mission statement, I guess, is that they're anti-racist. That's fine. And then subsequently to that, the next bullet point is anti-racial guilt. When I personally, and maybe you can help me flush this out, but when I personally read into anti-racial guilt, I think that the perception of what people hear and think when they hear the phrase anti-racial guilt compared to what anti-racial guilt actually is and should be are 2 very different things. Let me explain what I mean, and then I'll let you reply.
I think I agree with you already, though.
Okay, I think that, I hope so, because anti-racial guilt means that I don't, and I'll include Imran in this to a degree, because there was an Arab slave trade, right? Mm-hmm. So I doubt Imran spends his nights being guilty about the Arab slave trade.
He should.
I'm not guilty about I'm not.
So it's a different.
Well, I understand that, but I know you're Pakistani, but like there have been many bads that have been done by Pakistan, right? You don't sit up and be guilty about them. I don't have to be guilty about slave trade because I never traded slaves. So guilt is one thing, but I think that what a lot of people do is they attach to that saying no guilt is no acknowledgement or respect to the fact that the effects of racism may be transcendent in today's world, and to pretend that it's not an issue, and not to acknowledge the history of systemic racism. There's a difference between saying I'm guilty about racism, which I am not, but I acknowledge it, and I am empathetic towards the fact that systemic racism does exist. I feel like a lot of people who say no racial guilt attack people or condemn people for acknowledging or being respectful or admitting the fact that systemic racism is a thing.
And I won't say that that's. I don't know that. I think your assessment of that is wrong. I do think that is certainly one of the tenets that is open or that's easily interpreted poorly in a poor way.
So they amalgamate things. Here's what you're saying.
Amalgamate.
What did I say?
So
Mate.
the whole Proud Boys movement in general, and also certainly this tenet is a reaction to non-respectful accusations of racial guilt.
Example.
You're a fascist. You're a bigot. You're a racist. I mean,
Yeah, but you guys do that. You call people communists and radicals, leftists, and because they want universal health care. I want universal health care. Am I a radical leftist or a communist?
Well, most of them self-identify that way.
I'm more libertarian. Mikey has spend more time ripping on me for my libertarian views than he has.
You have no evidence. You have no evidence of any of this. It wasn't recorded on a show.
So there is, of course, there's of slapping a label on somebody or on a whole group like that's never going to be a perfect fit.
But you just did it to Black Lives Matter. Sure you said they're a front for communism. You just did that yourself.
Yeah, I don't think that everybody. I think that the organizational direction, its timing, its organization is all communist. Direct. I don't think everybody involved is a communist. I think there are a lot of people who are supporting Black Lives Matter for all the right reasons, and they're getting. I think they're getting.
So you're saying that
real quick. Sorry, Dutch. Yeah. Real quick. You probably saw it on the screen there. I went to their website, scroll through all of their merch. All of their merch has the 3 yellow. There's nothing there with just the black and white flag.
No, I'm looking at something right now. I'm looking at it right now.
Share your screen. Share your screen. It's on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, it's on the bottom
of your screen. Maybe we're wrong. Well,
I literally just dialed up their website and I was like, I don't see anything.
It'll pop up a window and say share Chrome tab or whatever.
Black with white lettering.
Right, but that's not a flag though. And it's got a big red heart on it.
Red heart also, yeah. That's just a fun design of like the words Black Lives Matter.
Okay, but
all their logo stuff is the Black Lives Matter, but it's the 3 yellow. Like you can search through the whole thing.
That's fine. Then we parsed it out wrong.
I was about to say no one was hanging out hoodies, just so they can confuse people to make them think that they were a part of it. And that's pretty cute because it's crap, so girls can show the little belly there.
Yeah, my girl love the crop tops, boy, and I love it too.
Show me a little something.
But what you're saying, brother, is that look, I'm guessing you're talking about like Patrisse Cullors, right? Like, so Patrisse Cullors advocates for some Marxism. Right, she's a Marxist. Maybe
is Marxism the same as communism, though, or is that?
Of course not. Thing? It's not. There's no similarity between Marxism and communism, other than the fact that communism adopts some of the Marxist tenets. Okay, there's a big difference, and I'm getting sick and fucking tired of people saying that Marxism is like gonna destroy religion and it's anti-American. It's an economic philosophy, and that's it. Marxists happen to be an atheist. So fucking what? You're confusing Leninist.
I agree. You're right. Let's move on to the economic part.
But the point is, Patrisse Cullors, maybe she believes in Marxism. What the problem that I have with this a lot is that people will say, I'm going to discredit and disavow and fight against the entire Black Lives Matter movement because Patrisse Cullors is a lesbian Marxist witch, and which literally is what they say. But there were 14 signers of the Declaration of Independence that were slave owners But because of the fact that they were slave owners, should I then, just like you do with the Black Lives Matter movement, because you don't like Patrisse Cullors' political standpoint, should I throw out my entire loyalty to the Declaration of Independence because of
just like today's GOP? There's a lot of GOP members and righties that are very freaking openly racist, but there's no problem with proudly saying that you're a conservative. You know what I mean?
And the Democratic Party
as well.
Yeah, the Democratic Party was founded by racists, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't subscribe
to some of their other tenets. Yes.
So Imran, I guess I don't get what the point is you're trying to prove with this, because is it possible that this was purely a sentiment flag that we burned? It's possible. It's not impossible. Is it probable that this church in DC, right by BLM Square, where Black Bloc holes up, is it probable that that church had that flag up and intended it to in no way be affiliated with the organization? It's not probable.
Why is that?
I think you just made a big leap there.
You just made a big reach.
I think if they wanted it to be the organization, they would have flown the black and yellow flag, right?
So you think that the timing, the location, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't resonate because I was there last weekend and you guys weren't, but this is, DC's been under attack by Antifa and BLM for a while. And
how so? How has Black Lives Matter been attacking? I
don't feel like that's a sincere question.
No, it's a legitimate question. I'm asking for examples of BLM or whatever attacking. Who are they attacking? What are they attacking?
Well,
we're talking about a historically black
attacking
church.
People leaving Trump rallies. Every Trump rally or MAGA rally, people get attacked afterwards, and that's a big part of what we did last weekend. Was divert attacks away from people leaving the Supreme Court rally, and it worked very well.
So by attacking, you mean standing there with a sign and protesting?
No. I mean the word. I mean the word. I used.
Fighting them.
I certainly mean the word I used.
So you mean unprovoked, just coming up? You coming out the rally? I'm gonna hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Now, aside from that, because we could go back and forth on who's starting fights and stuff like that.
Sure.
Here's the thing to talk about the Black Lives Matter flag at a historically black church. When you got a historically black church, there are a lot of black people that go to this church. So therefore, flying the black flag with the white lettering doesn't have to deal with anything about the organization. It's about the black lives that are going to that church. It's not necessarily, I don't understand why everything Black Lives Matter or whatever is seen to be so coordinated. But then when we talk about
the timing, the funding, it is all.
So do you have a timeline of how long that flag has been up?
I've got a timeline of when Black Lives Matter starts trending and resurfacing.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the flag at that church.
You're right.
We all know when that started.
The specifics of the intent behind that flag at that church. We're only speculating. So I guess I don't see the. Here's the whole thing. Is it wrong to steal and vandalize? Yes. Is it wrong to assume that they're at least probably okay with being associated with the organization? No, that's probably likely. Am I going to condemn what we did in the scheme of things? No, because there's way more shit going on. Some dudes grabbed a flag, burned it. It's really not as big a deal as people are trying to make it into.
Not as big a deal for you.
By any measure.
But me as a black man, knowing the history of black churches and black churches being bombed and things like that, the context of all of it and the nuance of all of it.
You're entitled to be offended by it. I still won't condemn it. It wasn't done in any racial, with any racial intentions. And if you choose to interpret it that way, that's your right, and it's not our responsibility.
What would you say if I? And I want to ask this honestly.
Yeah. We're having an honest conversation.
What would you say if I burned a Blue Lives Matter flag off of my neighbor's house or off of a?
I would say nothing
Christian
about
church.
it, and I'd secretly kind of enjoy it.
Okay. Well, I admit I wasn't expecting that answer. So, okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of cops.
Well, Blue Lives Matter. My issue
That's
is
not even about cops.
Yeah, it's not. No, Blue Lives Matter has nothing to do with police.
What's it about?
Honestly.
Blue Lives is about cops.
Blue Lives Matter is a covert racist response to Black Lives Matter, because that most police officers do not feel the same way about the Black Lives Matter movement, from my experience in interviewing many police officers, than the run-of-the-mill Blue Lives Matter supporter does. Blue Lives Matter started as an answer because of the identity politics genre that Black Lives Matter falls into, as is typical. And this is what I don't like about identity politics. I'm not saying I'm not attacking Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying it happens to be identity politics, and identity politics has the trait of spawning other identity politics in opposition to it. Blue Lives Matter started as a hashtag because of Black Lives Matter. Now, They adopted the thin blue line flag, which predated the Blue Lives Matter movement. But before that, nobody owned thin blue line flags unless you were a cop. Now everybody's flying one because of the identity politics piece of that. Just real quick, because Imran's here, I want to give you a chance to chime in on like any thoughts that you have on this conversation, or not. It's up to you, brother.
I did have a thought and I totally forgot. There's the thing. It's like 1 in the morning.
You gotta just push your way in, dude.
Okay, Marxism to communism to this. So my head's spinning a little bit. Wait,
from the Mandalorian to communism, go.
Well, communism in theory. No, I don't know. So here's what I can see. I remember I was watching a lot of live streams this summer, and I have been in the spring, and I clearly see that there's agitators in these groups. Like the groups mean well, but there's clearly little groups of agitators in each group causing problems.
There are, yeah, in both sides, and I won't deny that for us either.
That's the issue, is these little pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude got outed. He was smashing windows with the umbrella and the black hoodie. He's just walking around smashing windows in Minneapolis. And he wasn't part of anything. He was just there to cause problems. So there's agitators on both sides. Unfortunately, muddies up the message that needs to be sent. Yeah.
And here's a thought that I have. And it goes back to the requirement to learn and understand and contextualize and nuance Black history is always an elective. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is this: if in this country we were honest about our history and we were honest about things that went on in Black culture and we were honest about Black history, the Proud Boys would know, many of them. I'm not talking about, whoever might be a minority that was one of the founders, because he might not know, because he came up under this educational system as well. But you would know, oh, shoot, hey, Johnny, don't take that flag off that church because that's a historically Black church. Don't do that, because then the message we're trying to send, even if it is in the heat of the moment, will be lost. Understand? So it all goes back to this country constantly erasing, minimizing, mitigating Black history and the things, the ugly underbelly of this country and its founding and its development and the Black experience within it. And because of that, when they took that flag, they didn't know where they were taking it from. But if you go to Notre Dame and there's a flag on you, hey, don't take that flag off of that church, because this is a historic Catholic church or whatever.
Yeah, I could give you the plausible read that it wasn't a racist act if it hadn't been taken off of a black church, right? But the fact of the source of who owned it in both occasions.
Well, there was a black person standing on the front porch claiming it. You know,
that doesn't matter. You should. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That we should. It was our responsibility to know which churches were black ones beforehand.
You should know. Oh, yeah, because if you want your message to be sent in the proper fashion, you should. That is something. Hey, guess what? We call this BLM Square, but within BLM Square, because you know where you're going, it's not like you just showed up and winged it. You know what you're doing. You know what your plan is. You know what you call this BLM Square. Well, within BLM Square, there's 2 historically black churches. We don't want to do anything to deface these churches at any point, because therefore, if we do, the message that we want to send as an anti-racist group will get muddy.
You're right. That would have been better PR, for sure.
Okay.
Optics are everything.
It's out.
You might be totally right that it wasn't a racially motivated thing. They saw the flag, they were pissed off, and they wanted to send this message. Fine. I understand that, and I can believe that.
It wasn't a message to send. It was just frustrated dudes.
But when we started this, you said it was a message against communism, though.
Well, the sentiment, maybe I misspoke. The sentiment of the Proud Boys is against communism. That was not burned as a message to the world. It was a rah rah rah. We've been fighting all night, sort of thing. Look what we got. We got a trophy.
Imran, you were about to.
It came off until the next day. I thought it came from BLM Plaza somewhere.
I got to reiterate what Hot said. Is just knowing his history and that the optics of burning things in front of.
Okay, so was it bad PR? Sure. Okay, I can concede that.
You don't want to burn things in front of black churches.
Now, let me ask you, Haas. Do you think that it was done in a racially hostile way? Do you think the intentions, not the effectiveness of the optics, but do you think it was done with racist intentions?
I cannot say. I can only say what it looked like, and that's why I asked you your thoughts.
Well, no. I mean, I know that you can't say for positive, but do you feel like you've got a leaning one way or the other?
I feel like this is what I feel, based on the amount of hostility towards anything Black Lives Matter by the Proud Boys or whoever. I feel that there are a lot of Proud Boys, even though the organization says we are anti-racist. I feel like there are a lot of racist individuals that are members of Proud Boys, be it anti-Muslim, anti-Black, anti-immigrant in general. I believe that there's a lot of bigotry within the organization. You know, not speaking to you per se, but there is a faction, and I don't know the percentages or whatever, but I feel, based on some of the things I've heard Proud Boys say on TV and things like that, that there's a lot of Proud Boys that wouldn't want me in their neighborhood, period, whether had a Black Lives Matter cape on or not.
I think that let me just add to what he just said a little bit, if you don't mind. The Proud Boys is an interesting case study. It's a really interesting page, not quite as interesting as the Boogaloos, but pretty fucking interesting. I think that, I don't know if you believe in the deep state or not, and I'm not going down that road, but the idea of the deep state is that there's this entity, this cabal that controls things.
Sure.
Similarly, I think that there's an entity, not a cabal, and I think that there's this, that there are people. I don't know who these people are. I don't pretend it's Sheldon Adelson or anything like that. But the I think Sean Hannity plays into this a lot. I think Tucker Carlson plays into it a lot. I think OANN and Newsmax do. That there's this propensity to package in Black Lives Matter as something sinister that there's really no evidence to them being part of. And to me, it's ironic. I am willing to give a lot of people who are members of the Proud Boys personally, this is my personal opinion, I'm willing to give a lot of them personally the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because I think that you're probably ignorant to particular fact that, or just not seeing that that almost every single time that there is a civil rights movement, that it is somehow vilified as being not the right time, not the right place, not the right
method. Yeah.
Right. And
this is the only one I've been.
And I think no, I get that. But like I'm not saying because you support this that you're a racist. What I'm saying is that I believe that that there are people above you and above your movement that are feeding down a narrative that is palatable enough for you to buy into, that is a racist based narrative that is again diluted enough and made politically correct enough and made to seem soft enough that you don't realize it, and that therefore you are propagating the agenda, exactly the agenda that these people who are overtly racist want you to do. Now, where I can source that from or pinpoint, I don't pretend to do that because I'm some dumb fuck sitting in the middle of California in Bakersfield, and I don't have a news agency, right? So yeah, so but I'm smart enough to look at historical trends, and I'm smart enough to look at facts, and the facts tell me that 100% of the civil rights movements in this country, for blacks, for gays, and for Muslims, have been met with a massive amount of vehemence and skepticism of the origins of it as pushing some communist liberal cabal or whatever, or like agenda to take over this country. There are people who do want to take over, who maybe do want to.
I won't. I mean, that's not an unreasonable view. It's basically the same view I have of BLM, just in reverse. And
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I can tell you my experience, not that I think that should prove the point, but just so you got another reference point in your information data set. In my experience, there is actually a very active, the vetting process for new members is lengthy.
Of what?
Of new prospects
for Proud Boys.
Right. And
okay.
it's primarily because it does attract racist people, and that's primarily what we need to weed out before we let in. I
think that's problematic. I think that that statement in itself shows a problem.
It shows
if you already know at its foundation, this group attracts racists, so we got to figure out how to. What is it about that group? What is it about that group that does that? And why don't we weed that part out so we don't have to vet people, because then they won't be attracted to it.
Maybe get rid of the Confederate flag wearers. That would be a good start.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shit either. But so anyways, in my experience, there actually is, I haven't met one person I felt was racist at all. And I've met a lot of, I was in DC last weekend. There are a lot of minorities, especially Hispanic. Some of the like in Florida and shit, those chapters are mostly Hispanic.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Hispanic people that hate black people, though.
Yeah, trust me.
anyways, what I'm trying to say is,
I'm just saying.
What I'm trying to say is,
well,
but
being Mexican does not mean that you get a pass from being racist. Being black does not mean that you get a pass from being racist. Being Jewish does not mean that you get a pass from being racist. Being married to a black person or married to an Asian person is not a pass for holding a negative view of the aggregate of the community. It means you're cool with that person. It doesn't mean that you're cool with walking down Crenshaw. There's the thing is that the people, and I'm sorry to rant here, and I've said this before, but people have the perception of the word what is racist is different between two people when you talk to them. One person on the right might think racist is a bunch of weirdos dancing around a burning cross in Alabama and they're overt racist. Another person might say someone who fired someone because they distrusted them and that person happened to be black was racist. And maybe neither of those two people are right, but somewhere in the middle, in the muddy middle, is the answer. And when you have a distrust of a community, that might not be overt racism, but it certainly is bias.
Yes, I agree.
You know, like Imran can tell you, like after 9/11, what was your story after 9/11, Imran, of like you started turning, your skin was turning a different color and you got treated differently than different Pakistanis?
Well, because I had this vitiligo, I looked white, and after 9/11, I kind of saw like I should.
Well, give Flow State your background.
Well, look, I'm Pakistani, and when I was 6 years old, I started getting vitiligo. I was all brown, and by the time I got through like my teenage years, I lost all the pigment in my skin. So it's kind of funny, right? I start out brown, I turn white, and 9/11, I'm like, oh, this was the thing. So I've seen everything. I've seen getting treated.
You're living Candace Owens' dream.
So I've been lived as a minority and treated shittily that way, and then I got to live as a white dude and got to see a little bit of privilege. But then I also saw the whole reverse of the white dude, where now nobody wants to hear what the white dude wants to say, and got to go back to being brown again.
True.
So it's like I've seen the whole cycle. It's been kind of wild to watch it as a brown person who turned white, like Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live.
And then post 9/11, what was the experience you've talked about post 9/11?
People were like surprised. Like I remember I was at a Super Bowl party and came out that I was Pakistani, and the dude, the owner, he says out real loud, he goes, "I got a Pakistani in my house." And like the whole party stopped. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, how you doing?" And I cheer. It was just, I've constantly been trying to like tell people that not all Muslims are like that. Some of us like pepperoni pizza and have a beer every now and then.
Besides the fact that those were Saudis that
right. And the hilarious thing was you saw Sikh people get harassed, and I was like, that's the wrong fucking religion. It's the wrong country. Like, if you're gonna be racist, at least be accurate with the geography.
Let me ask this question then. As a diverse group right here, we've
Mm-hmm.
all, even my white straight male self, have experienced, being the outcast in some way of a group, and having that.
I live that every day on this podcast.
It's happened a lot more to me than you'd probably believe. But anyways, how do we get past that? It's my opinion that continuing to focus in on our specific, whatever makes us different, and advocate for our different group, it's just making things worse. I think we need to find a way to sort of transcend that identity mindset altogether.
Here's the thing with that. Because racism has been such an effective divider since the beginning of this country, pretty much, we have to address it. We have to confront it. There's no way to go around it. You have to obliterate it, so that once obliterated, those who are collectively disenfranchised, as this new stimulus package suggests, you know what I mean? Those who are collectively disenfranchised can once again, because this is why the term, the creation of white, was created right here. Why? Because the poor whites and the slaves were banding together to fight against the elites.
Can't have that.
You can't have that. So because of that, we have to confront racism obliterated, so then the collectively disenfranchised can once again band together and combat the true adversary.
I've been hold on.
Same thing. Go ahead.
Well, I've been quiet for a minute, so here's my question.
You've been doing good, Mikey.
Shut up. It was fucking praise from you. You said
you've been a good little boy over there being quiet in the lower right hand corner.
It was nice in here for a while.
Let me throw him a biscuit. The problem
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
With the whole assimilation melting pot thing is that it requires other people to give up their cultural identities for the sake of everyone getting along.
No, it doesn't. And I don't think so. That's not how I intended it.
No, just respect others' cultural identity.
Exactly.
Yes.
So which is why I'm saying in part 2, everyone's individual identity needs to be cherished and defended as if it were their own. If people acted that way, we'd be done with this. But to get people to allow people to, like gay marriage or something, like now gay marriage is a thing, but then you still do a poll, and then there's a lot of evangelicals say, well, they're still going to hell and it's still nasty and disgusting, blah, 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 because they're not defending something that they don't do as if it were their idea. When you start to defend people who think differently than you, then things change. People will never do that here. Racism will never go away, ever, because people won't even wear a goddamn mask during a pandemic. You think they're going to change their mindset on how they think about people who don't look like them? It's not going to happen. Americans today are not equipped. They just do not have the tools to grow and mature in that way.
Well, you can't do it overnight though either. It didn't happen overnight. It takes generations.
Right. I'm not fighting for me. I'm not being outspoken for me. I'm not trying to do things to hopefully change the system in little incremental ways. For me, it's for my kids.
Yeah.
Because I know I probably won't see it.
And Mikey actually touched on a point that I meant to bring up earlier when we were talking about the churches. You know, we give these money to churches, Islamic churches and Christian churches both share this anti-gay sentiment. And, you know, if if those funds are being used to propagate anti-LGBT, platforms or agendas, then our tax dollars, gay people's tax dollars, are working against the gay community in some way, which I find to be
okay. So we can zero in on this example really well. And I think that how do I phrase this properly? So anti-gay as the phrase we're going to use. I think that if collectively we could understand that anti-gay is an intentional attack and not just a disagreement without malice intended. So I think that if a Christian believes that gay marriage is wrong because the Bible says so, that's not anti-gay. They're not trying to hurt the gay person. It's their religious belief. You know, they don't have animosity there.
It is, but once they try to get it implemented into government, then it becomes
once you try to make it law, but you know, you're making your belief law.
So you can believe whatever the hell you want to.
Right. So, but I think that this example works really well because you understand each side is trying to defend their religious or their sexual life, and they're not trying. The intention is not to harm the other; it's to defend self. So you understand that these are not coming from places of animosity the same way.
No,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that because
that's not.
You don't have to get just because somebody else, because John and Steve decide to get married, that does not infringe upon your beliefs at all.
Yeah, if
you know what I mean.
Listen, if the
but
church
God told you not to, because
if
that's
the church
what you
wants
believe.
To change your. If a Christian
I'm not
or a
arguing,
Muslim,
I'm just saying in general.
I'm trying to use. Okay, maybe it's not a perfect example, but do you get what I'm saying? Like we can find disagreement points that are not malicious. They're just simply different perspectives.
But this
right,
hold on.
Those like as they are, as not malicious, as just innocent disagreements. I think that'd be a good starting point to unwind hostility and work from.
But that's the difference, is because the way that you see things as differing in opinion is the difference between oppression and freedom for some people. It just is. That goes back to privilege. I'm sorry. And that's the problem is when the people who are in mass get to draw the lines of what is oppression and what is not, it becomes who has the bigger stick. It becomes might makes right. So if there is no active element in all certain social groups and social champions to advocate and listen to the other side and be part of the change that everyone is looking to get to, you will never get there because someone will draw a line somewhere and people will say that's too far. And then other people will say that's not far enough. And then people start fighting over where the line is drawn, as opposed to understanding that the actual issue is that that one person got to draw the line. And now we're fighting over that. You can't draw other lines for other people. I'm not gay. I'm not trans. I'm not Muslim, but I'll be goddamned if you try to fucking oppress any of them in my presence.
Right.
It's going to be a long one. And I'm ready and I got caffeine on deck and I'm ready to go to whole scrap the whole way. But the people on the other side of the equation from me do not feel that way. And that's why we are here today. You can't be neutral in racist and anti-racist talks. You can't be neutral in when it comes to oppression and freedom.
I can
be neutral in some of those things. If you are neutral, then you are literally helping.
Is silence violence?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Would you characterize someone who is neutral in the in being anti-communist as being friendly or helping to draw or not combating or drawing along the communist agenda? Because I'm silent to communism and I don't want to get involved with it.
Yeah.
And then when communism takes over the country, those people will tell me, well, you didn't fight it, so you're responsible.
I agree. That mindset doesn't carry. The silence is violence mindset doesn't carry universally. You can't just apply that to everything and say whatever you don't actively denounce, you agree with. That's not how things work.
But you're not
the things that you tolerate and the things that when presented to you, you allow to continue.
I tolerate the war on drugs and I fucking hate it. You know, like that.
Me too.
You can accuse me of that, but that doesn't make it true or really even rational.
All right, I'll put it to you like this. You don't agree with bullying.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
You're walking on the schoolyard and you see a bully whooping somebody's ass. You keep walking. What did you do? You just you allowed it to continue.
I wasn't an active bully. It's not my responsibility to stop all bullying.
See, that's the
attitude that fucks up this country.
That's the attitude, and unfortunately, most people do walk by the bully.
At some point, it's just logistics.
But when you look at when you look at the church, and I just wanted to kind of finalize this point. If the church wants to change the views of people in the gay community, and you then witness to them and turn them to Christianity, but don't try to go through the channels of government,
prayer camp,
and oppress people and keep people from signing a piece of paper. It's literally a signature on a piece of paper.
Yeah, we agree.
Means that they get to file taxes together.
I thought it would,
and the Christian church wants to keep people from signing a piece of paper that allows them to save money on their taxes. Oh my God, how fucking appalling that these people could sign a piece of paper. If you think that they're going to go to hell, if you genuinely believe in your head that you're going to go, and I know you don't, but like Kenneth Copeland, if he genuinely believes that people are going to go to hell for being gay, then witness to them and stop calling them assholes. It's not effective for people to bring people over to the Black Lives Matter cause by standing across the room and calling them Nazis. The same as it's not effective for someone to go into a abortion clinic and expect to turn someone from getting an abortion by calling them murderers. And I guess we're going to be famous here because we can now buy followers.
I want to be famous.
From Condoleezza 7935.
Over. I want to be famous.
We're again getting spammed here. So all right, we're at 2.5 hours. We got to wrap this up.
Fuck that shit. We don't got shit to do tomorrow.
Yeah, we will actually.
I gotta work.
So real quick, real quick here. First of all, Flow State, thanks for jumping in. Imran, thanks for jumping in.
Yet either.
We're going to do the humidor right now. If Imran and Flow State want to hang around for that, you guys can. But before we do that, if you guys, I don't know if you guys want to jump off or stand for the humidor, it's up to you. But before we do that, listener, if you're listening to the show and you want to help us out, you can do so. You can go to Voice from the Underground website at www.vfupodcast.yolasite.com. That's YOLASITE. You can see all of these links there. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/VFU podcast. Our YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, this is probably the biggest thing that I can ask. If you're not watching this on YouTube or you're listening on the audio in a day or two on iTunes or Spotify or whatever, Pandora, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, at youtube.com/
Hit that notification bell.
Yes, at youtube.com/ voice from the underground podcast, the whole thing, or twitch.tv / VFU podcast. Flow State, how can they find your stuff?
I am YouTube/C/Flow State. And I'll drop a link in the comments after this on the live stream or on the video.
Put it in the private chat so I can copy and paste it.
Okay.
Perfect. And then Imran, tell us when Delhauer is going to be on next first, and then what movie you're doing next, and then give us all your shits for the two people that don't know you.
That's all anybody cares about is when Del Howard's going to be.
We have like the same listeners, so everybody knows who you are.
Jockandnerd.com. Just go there. You'll find links to all where the show is, and it's comic book and superhero TV and movie reviews. We've been reviewing Mandalorian week after week, and then Wonder Woman 84 sequels coming out on HBO Max Christmas Day. We will be reviewing that. I started a second podcast, by the way. Did you guys know about this?
I did not.
What's it all about?
It's with my sister, and it's completely ridiculous. It's called Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast. And
oh my God, Balky Bartakamus?
Yes, Balky and Larry, and we're literally just rewatching every episode of the 80s hit sitcom Perfect Strangers, and it's still funny today. I grew up watching the show, and I watched it again. I was like, holy shit, this shit is still funny. And then
what's it streaming on?
Hulu. All seasons are on Hulu right now.
How many are there?
There's 8 seasons. So this podcast is going to go 150 episodes at least. We got 3 years of episodes for the rewatch podcast. That's at danceofjoypod.com.
I got a question. Sorry, off topic a little bit. Does Alien versus Predator count as a legit comic book series?
Dude, yes. The Alien and Predator.
That's also my shit.
And actually, Terminator comic books are very good. Yeah.
I'm just wondering when I get my invite to go into Jock and Nerd.
Oh, you're
thirst trapping.
I'm just out here just trying to get a buck. I'm just trying to get my face out there. All right.
To finish the thought that Flow State just said, actually, a lot of really good comics have come from movie genre. I think Alien versus Predator came after Star Trek. Came after Star Wars came after, so it's there's a lot there. And then what's the next WTF that you guys have?
We don't don't have one lined up. You can suggest a movie. We're open to suggestions.
Oh yeah,
we did Superman 3 or 4. I can't.
Oh, that's just horrible. No, 4.
Have you guys
before, right?
Have you guys
radioactive guy?
Well, yes.
With Richard Pryor.
Nuclear Man or Nuclear Man.
Or is it Radioactive Man?
Yeah, Gene Hackman. In the movie.
Have you guys done Constantine or Hellboy?
No, Hellboy. I kind of like Hellboy. Constantine.
Hey, can I be on the Hellboy episode?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, the old one.
Oh no, he's talking
down.
about. So this series they do is for horrible comic book movies.
We like to roast bad comic book movies.
So then neither one of those.
Oh, like Spawn, the first Spawn movie. You did Spawn.
Spawn would be a good one. We haven't done that one, but we've done.
But the new Hellboy.
The new Hellboy.
The newest Hellboy was horrible.
I watched it. It was completely forgettable. Very forgettable.
No, but tell Mikey some of the movies you guys have done.
Oh, so we've done like Howard the Duck.
I love Howard the Duck.
That's a great movie. Fantastic. Josh Trank. We did Spider-Man 3. We did Ghost Rider, which is
God.
I like that movie too.
when Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god, so bad. He just stands around pointing all the time and drinking M&Ms out of a martini glass. I don't understand.
Fancy lad.
Yeah. So bad movies. Catwoman, that was phenomenal. Catwoman, it's so bad. Catwoman is the worst movie ever.
Why do they keep fucking that up? Because it could be so hot.
It could be. And Halle Berry was so hot in this movie. But that
Halle Berry was hot, and freaking
homegirl.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
It has got that S&M undertones that just could work, you know.
Just enough.
Yeah,
just enough.
Not too much.
Can I disrupt your whole show with a good movie like Hellboy?
We could do whatever you want, Mikey Feynman. Come on, we'll review stuff.
Yes, I get to fucking geek out about Hellboy for fucking.
We could do the original Ron Perlman Hellboy. I'd be down. I haven't seen that, talked about that movie in a while, and it's very good.
Fuck yeah!
You know,
I'm a big Guillermo guy.
Yeah,
big Guillermo guy.
Guillermo's a big guy.
The Mars Attacks is
awesome.
With fucking,
I love when Mars Attacks.
With the fucking Jim Brown in there.
Yeah.
It's so wretched.
It's so good.
It's pretty good.
Hey guys, I think it's about that time. Y'all already know what time it is, so if you're gonna hang out, hang out. But if you're not hanging out, we love you. But y'all already know what time it is.
I'm hanging out before.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to the Humidor with Big Haas. Find out what Haas is puffin' and drinkin' today. If you try his suggestion, and you die. That is natural selection, and the VFU podcast is not responsible for you being weak effing sauce. Now, the one, the only, Big Haas.
I'm not on drugs.
Big Hussein, what are you drinking? What are you smoking today on Voice from the Underground?
I got to be honest with y'all.
Best policy.
I started the podcast with a different cigar.
What?
I did.
What?
I had it all queued up. I was ready to review it. I was smoking it with coffee. Guess what? Smoked the whole fucking cigar up. So guess what? I'm not going to review it.
What?
And that kind of gives you an idea how good I thought it was. But it was a good cigar, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't. Like if it was one that I was like, ooh, I would give you a double review. But I'm not going to do that because that cigar, while smokable, and I could see situations where I might enjoy it. It was going to be on the right on that border of 4 level, 4 and up.
Okay.
I probably would have gave it a 3 point something.
Oh,
okay. So switch cigars. It is what it is. Switch the drink. It is what it is. So right now, I'm smoking the Punch Grand Puro. Now, student number 1, you know what Puro means, right?
Yes, I do. I have my notes here. Let me let me. It says here on page 14 of my notes, a puro is where the wrapper, the filler, and the binder are all from the same. I can't read my own handwriting. Country of origin. Yes.
Correct. Very good, sir.
Yes.
So, the Punch brand.
Well, he just said something to me, teacher. I don't know if you heard that. He said he called me something.
Quit dry snitching.
That was wet as fuck. That was shit spotted.
Quit dry snitching. Shut the fuck up. Don't make me take points away. Okay.
That can happen.
Of course. So Punch is known for its fuller cigars. Okay. So this one is a medium to full. Okay. So, and I'm only pre-pause. I'm only a couple inches into it. Okay. So I'm in the medium part. Let's just say that. There's a little bit of pepper on the front, a little bit of earth, some leather, but I'm literally like maybe an inch in. Pause. So this is a Havana.
Can she even feel it?
Well,
you're only an inch in.
My inch ain't like other inches.
Gross.
I thought those were standardized.
Depends on your girthiness.
You're a lying dog faced pony soldier.
Pony sized.
An inch of a pinky is different than an inch of 3 fingers. You know what I'm saying?
You are fake news.
So this is a Honduran puro.
Ooh.
Okay. But the wrapper is actually a Havana seed, sun-grown wrapper. So the seed, the tobacco seed, is from Havana, Cuba, but it was grown in Honduras. Okay.
Honduras.
Yes. This was actually the number 10 cigar, according to Cigars International, of 2016. Okay, it got a 93 rating, and I'm feeling every bit of it. Pause.
All 93 inches.
Every bit of that first inch is going to be good by the time you're on the last.
I'm telling you, by the time I get to the rest of this. Now, if you notice, the wrapper is pretty smooth for the most part.
Smooth
now, the last couple of weeks, I've had more veiny wrappers where the veins are more protrusive and more evident. But this wrapper, although attractive, is a lot smoother in its appearance. The construction is really good.
Go to manscaped.com,
right.
Promo code VFU podcast for your lawnmower 3.0.
Right. Oh, the burn is a little wavy, but I've got the space heater going, so that might be making a little breeze in here, so it's a little wavy. But and it's a little flaky as well. I think I said that about last week's cigar. If you look there, you see that a little flake there. So those flakes, they come off as you smoke, like dandruff almost, and they get on you. Like I'd show you my pants, but then I get a whole crotch shot, and this whole place would go dark.
And I'm gonna screenshot it and put it as the thumbnail for the video.
Oh yeah, then we get about 300,000 viewers. But so
why haven't I been doing this every week?
Yeah, no shit.
I'm an idiot.
You know. So there's a little bit of kind of it's like the smoke yields a floral type of aroma. This is actually one of those cigars that I think my wife would really enjoy the smell of, because it's kind of a sweet floral type smoke nuance to it, to smell to the smoke.
This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Right there. Just pushing buttons.
Just put it there.
Sure did.
There's a little pepper, like I said, but more than that, I actually experienced the leather. We were talking about S&M earlier. I'm experiencing some leather here.
It's the Halle Berry of cigars.
You know,
little flowery leather.
Potpourri of cigars. With the...
But it's a really good cigar, and what I paired it with is the take that P. Diddy De Leon tequila anejo, and I think that's bringing more of the sweetness out, because the De Leon tequila has a caramel type profile. They store it in oak barrels, and actually American oak, and then finished in French oak wine casks. So they started for over a year in American oak barrels, and then they go to the French oak wine casks. So you get a lot of sweetness. This is actually a really good pairing for this cigar, because a lot of the elements of the cigar are evident in the tequila. So, take a sip. Do the drink retro hail. Oh yeah. So all of the elements of the cigar that I'm experiencing are actually enhanced by the tequila, which is good. But then also where I'm not getting like the pepper that I'm getting from this cigar is muted at first, but then the volume turns up when I take a drink of the tequila and then take a puff. So really good medium to full. Like I said, it's a Honduran Puro. So everything is from Honduras. All the seeds were grown there. What I was smoking is the Robusto. Okay. Robusto is one of the smaller Vitolas. Okay. It's usually between 5 and 5.5 inch paws by 54. And actually, they call them by their Spanish names. There's a Pico Bonito, which is the Toro, which is 6 by 50. There's the Rancho, which is the Robusto, which is 5.5 by 54. There's a Santa Rita Robusto, which is actually smaller. It's a Caucasian. It's 4.5 by 52. That was blatantly
Oh, look at my African American over here.
that was blatantly prejudicial. I see I'm kind of drunk. Prejudicial
I'm joining you, brother. Don't worry about that. I'm joining you. Hold
on. And then they have the 60, which is the 6 by 60, and the Sierra Toro, which is 6.5 by 48. You know what? I used to hate on Robustos. And for the purposes of the first cigar, because that was a Robusto as well. I wish I had a Gordo or a Toro, because then I would have been still smoking that cigar when we got to the Humidor. Robustos are great for a quick smoke, you know, and this De Leon is really smooth. Like you take a sip of this, it's really smooth on the tongue. Pause, and
got rid of them veins, nice and smooth.
Also, it's really good for a quickie, like the neighbor girl.
The neighbor, which way?
The hot neighbor, the girl that the hot neighbor girl, yeah.
Yeah, if you do
a hot neighbor girl who is good for
that sort of thing, if you
or the ex-girlfriend, like the ex-girlfriend, good for that.
Fuck that.
My ex-girlfriend is my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Never hit reverse on that ever again.
But in general.
But this is a medium to full that it's great after dessert. You know how like when you get older like me, after dessert you have a coffee or you have a nightcap and you want to smoke a little something. This is the perfect, because you're not going to be up all night smoking it. You can have a nice little drink, get a little bit tipped. You know what I'm saying? Just not bent, but bent. You know what I'm saying? And go upstairs and try to start something with your wife after you finish. You know what I'm saying? Try to start some shit. You don't necessarily need a full meal. You know, some of the cigars, like there's some cigars I've smoked. I'm not going to name them because I'm doing the Humidor around this one that I've smoked where I'm like, hey, you want to have a full meal. You don't want to play around because you will get the spins. You will get sick. Not this one. This is a great introduction to the punch line. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've never had a full cigar, this is a great introduction, because as you go, it's going to get a little stronger. Right? I'm actually going to put this. I'm not going to finish it because we're going to wrap up after this. But I'm going to put this up, and you know what? Maybe in a bonus episode, I'll do how to save your cigar if you're not finished with it, so you can smoke it again. Smoke the rest of it another time. That's a great one.
Just about to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You should hit that tonight. That doesn't sound like it'd be long to explain.
Yeah, I'm about to go upstairs and start some shit with my wife.
No, don't give away. Don't give away that content.
You know,
don't give away that content.
Yeah,
fuck post day. He wrong.
Hey,
so
just leave the live stream on.
No. You ain't got enough. You ain't got enough notebook for that. You ain't got enough notebooks for them kind of notes.
We'll put that part on red too.
Ain't got enough paper for them type of notes, man.
Like, I thought you were committed to the growth of the channel, but apparently not.
Apparently not. I'm not giving away my secrets.
Not the secret sauce. Not the secret sauce.
Pause.
The secret's being the pimples on his butt.
I'm not going to tell you.
You don't want to know why I say that.
I'm not going to show you the secret stroke.
That's just grip for her. Why you hating?
But
It's like a sandpaper dildo.
On the leafer meter, this is a 4.5. Solid 4.5. I would prefer it to be a little toothier. And this is one of the only places when I talk about cigars where I talk about being toothier. A little bit more flavor wouldn't hurt. Mike. But maybe as I progress through the cigar tomorrow, because I'll have this tomorrow morning with my coffee. Maybe it'll give me some more canines.
Give me some more.
Put some Ferniers on it. It'll be a nice smooth ride, like they say in TED.
I wonder how this profile would change if I was. Last night I was drinking Uncle Nearest while I was watching the football games, and I wonder how this profile on this cigar would change if I was drinking Uncle Nearest, which is a lot more brawny.
A little bam.
Like this is the De Leon is 80 proof. This Uncle Nearest is 100 proof. So you that's a whole different animal right there. So I wonder how this would work.
Savage, bougie, ratchet.
Yeah. So this is a 4.5. I haven't had De Leon tequila in a while. I've had this for over a year, and I haven't.
Hey, yo, Dutch, he had that up underneath the cabinet last time I went over there. I didn't see it out there at all. He had that one hidden.
He was hiding it from. He hid that when the company come around.
But I hid it from myself actually because
he tried to tear me up with the Hibiki. He tried to burn my whole throat apart.
No, he switched it up through the Alizé up. He threw the Alizé up there and hid that underneath the.
I don't fuck with Alizé or Hypnotic.
No, but you know what Cat Williams said. I keep Alizé around.
You know, like satin pillow sheets.
Like satin pillow sheets.
But this is a great cigar. I would definitely buy another one. I smoked a cigar earlier today that's been discontinued. Okay. If my homie at the Torch, Baj, is looking for a box for me. If he can find a box of that, I'm going to buy it. Okay. And I'm going to review that cigar. I smoked that cigar from 12 noon until 5 p.m.
Damn.
That one cigar, 5 hours.
That's a marathon loving fest.
Now,
that's a young cigar.
This is what I would call a Hassanian because it's 8 by I'm messing.
Well, Hassanian would be 3 by 3. So
from the flow.
Like a cube.
From the flow.
I can't deal with y'all.
So you look a little bit more threatening today than normal. Is there any reason why you're not using the new light that you were just purchased for you?
Because I haven't read the instruction booklet yet.
It hasn't opened. Okay.
Now, Dutch. I appreciate it. I love it. I haven't opened it yet because
it's not Christmas.
As a personal trainer and athletic performance coach, I'm gonna be honest with you. The week before Christmas is one of the busiest weeks for me because there are a lot of people going out of town this week coming up, the week of Christmas. Okay, so they're trying to double dip.
Everybody trying to get in.
And they're trying to get in. So last week was super busy. If you could see my whiteboard where I write my schedule out, it was
you know what they say, excuses are like assholes.
But I wash mine.
Yeah, but you need to wash them excuses out.
Just
all right.
Valid.
So you're about to have a new client, by the way.
We're probably gonna have a couple more.
You said that last week. What's up?
He said that last week too.
10 minutes
away.
But
you've been busy.
Well, I'm not busy this week. I got morning time wide open, buddy.
Oh, morning? Hold on, bro.
Oh yeah.
And do you sell the cigars too? Didn't you say that?
What?
Do you work for the cigar store too or something?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So can you post a link or something? I want to order some cigars for my dad for Christmas. I'm trying to shop at smaller businesses for Christmas, and
well, this business.
I'll see what I can do for you. Where are you located again, Flo?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay, so little info here. I got offered a position in LA, which I am going to accept tomorrow. It's a great position, and I'll be happy.
Congratulations.
That's so white of you to be able to wait.
Well, I told them I need to wait because I have a position that I like more. In
doggy
Kansas
style
City.
don't count, dude.
No, I like missionary. No, but I have a job. I have a job I've been interviewing for, and the position is literally in KC. I will be moving to Kansas City in 3 weeks if I get this job.
Bro, we're gonna be best friends. You're gonna be a proud boy. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'll be proud. And I'm up the boy part.
We'll see how his tune changed.
Well,
I down there.
I
We're
have
talking that big game now from California.
He'll start wearing those square toe cowboy boots. He wear those square toe cowboy boots.
They make a lot of sense, guys.
You mistake where I live with California. You forgot I live in Bakersfield.
Yeah, he lives in Bakersfield.
So Bakersfield is redder than anywhere else in the country. It just happens to be in California.
But you got blue around it. You go to Kansas City, it's going to be red as far as the eye can see.
Actually, Kansas City's blue.
Yeah, the blue is way far away.
Hey, I've been to Kansas City. I know that at least the girls are blue.
I like Kansas City. It was a really nice time. You guys have a pizza place there I ate at called Minsky's, yeah, which was pretty good. It's not Chicago quite, but it was pretty good. But I might possibly be there. I'm one of 3 final people. I'm supposed to find out tomorrow if I got it or not. So we'll see.
So make sure you guys call 1-800-IDOL-002 to vote for Dutch.
Yes, 1-800-IDOL. So I have 2 new soundboard clips that are on right as of now. The first one is
What's that?
all right. And the second one is, and I don't know when I'm going to use this one, but when I heard the commercial earlier, I was like, that's got to come on. This is an old one.
I've got something for you.
Yo, Eagle Man should totally get a new logo.
You have insurance on this car? I don't.
No.
It must be Eagle Man. God damn, that commercial was horrible good.
So I have 2 other ones that I need to put on there. Let me take off what's up real quick. And I'll play these other 2 that I'm going to put. I just have to figure out what to take off.
Put on a Bernie Mac one.
It was all because of this terrible, awful Negro.
What is that from?
All right, I'm gonna
play places.
I'm gonna play the whole clip. I'm gonna play the whole clip of that in 1 second. And then,
my God.
And then there was one. Oh, you know what? I don't know what I did with the other one. Okay, so the other one seems to have disappeared on me.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
But all right, so here we go. This is just a little Christmas gift. Oh, this is the one that I played this for you guys earlier, though.
They are who we thought they were.
that's going to be.
I love it.
That's going to be on there too. So, in the spirit of Christmas, here's a little piece of Trading Places.
Definitely a Christmas movie, by the way.
Dream. I dreamt the whole thing. It was just a bad dream.
Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas.
Coleman, I've had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me. I lost my job. I lost my house. Penelope hated me. It was all because of this terrible, awful Negro.
Merry Christmas.
It was not jokes. It was not jokes.
You're a dead man, Valentine.
I think you should cut it with "You're a dead man, Valentine."
You're a dead man, Valentine. That should be its own clip.
Yeah,
that should be its own fucking clip.
Yeah,
it's just so great. And it's not really a Christmas movie, but
it is a Christmas movie.
Neither is
he had on a whole Santa suit.
Dutch,
Die Hard is a Christmas movie as well.
Dutch, you watch your mouth. You're
on thin ice, Bucko.
Yeah, you're habitual. He's a habitual line stepper.
Right.
Is Home Alone a Christmas movie?
Fuck yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I can watch Home Alone. It's not Christmas. I can't watch the Santa Claus when it's not Christmas, though. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Didn't you watch Bad Santa when it's not Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, but Bad Santa is classic. The
100%.
second
Bad
one
Santa is fucking hilarious.
The second, fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa. The second one, not so good.
I like the Sandwich Kid.
In the second one or the first one?
The first one. No, the first one was the fat kid.
Yeah, the little fat kid.
Oh, you want some sandwiches?
Some sandwich. Yeah. I love that old lady.
Yeah,
Get some sandwiches.
It's like, come on, kid, you got mental problems?
The fuck is it with you and sandwiches, kid?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Bad Santa needs to get a view. Of course, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, they start streaming a Christmas story 24 hours a day.
Which I love. Bubba says!
Yeah, you can't get it.
I never liked that movie.
I said the F
Really?
word, and it
I
wasn't.
never liked it.
Fudge.
Right.
It just didn't do it for me. Like I just didn't get it.
I don't. All right. Well, with that being said, everybody out there, have a great Christmas. I know I'm going to try our best to have 3 more shows before the end of the year. One of them has to be our end of the year wrap up, and it's gonna be a doozy for 2020. Let me tell you right now, this year we do an end of year wrap up every year. We've done one since 2017.
Post-mortem.
Yeah, and we usually have to go back through Google and figure out what we forgot about that happened. This year we don't have to do any of that.
We remember it all.
Yeah, we remember everything.
Not at all. It's seared into our memory.
I guarantee if you go from like January 1st till today, there's 50 things you're like, oh, holy shit.
Right. There's been so much shit this year.
I totally forgot that happened.
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna get a shirt
we'll
made.
talk,
I'm gonna wear it for the wrap up.
We'll talk about it. We'll probably do that I'm gonna try to do that like the day. When is New Year's Eve? Christmas is a Friday, so that means New Year's Eve day is New Year's Day is Friday. So
New Year's Day is Friday.
Let's try to do it like Wednesday the 30th. We'll try to do like Wednesday the 30th. We'll try to do our year wrap up show. Flow State, you want to come on for that? You can. Gerald will be back for that one as normal. He's here almost every year for that show from Pop Culture Cosmos. And we'll probably try to do one show before that because I don't want that to be the last show of the year. So we don't usually talk politics on that show too much, though we will this year. Because
that's what it was.
Hunter Biden's job political or entertainment?
Is Hunter Biden what?
The foot job that Hunter Biden got while he was smoking crack, is that?
Oh, that's entertainment. That's
that's what I think too. So we can watch it together on a share screen.
I would love Hunter Biden. If Hunter Biden spent the rest of his life in jail, I would not be sad.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't choose him either, but But when it's between foot job and nothing, I'll take a foot job.
I guess.
Yeah,
maybe I might go with nothing. Close my eyes and
foot job.
Go off into Never Land.
I mean, yeah,
it might be time for some self-reflection if it's foot job
switch to something else, or just get frustrating, probably. But
hey, you ever fucked ass cleavage?
What the
That's a yes. That's a yes from Flow State. Look at his face. He's like, oh yeah, Wednesday.
I got this girl come over every Tuesday around 4 a.m. Yeah,
right. I call her Big Booty Judy.
She's my Tuesday night airline stewardess. Yeah.
Hey, you know that my man Flo, you married?
I'm divorced and I live with my girlfriend, so functionally, yeah, but not legally.
Ah, I see. I was going to say you're probably rolling in it because you got the beard with the braid. Got the beard with the braid with the dad bod going.
You know what? I learned from my last girl. I learned from my mistakes. And I got one that's bi. So,
so you're not anti-LGBT.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Yep.
High five.
Yeah.
So,
if a Proud Boy and the world's biggest BLM advocate can become best friends,
I am not the biggest BLM advocate. I'm the BLM statement advocate. Yes. Organization.
I know. No, we've had discussions about the organization before. So
there's certain things I'm like, nah.
I do appreciate the fact that you separate out the two, because I think that the first time I talked to Mikey about it, he was not separating them.
Well, Mikey's Antifa. He doesn't know any better.
Oh yeah.
Don't listen to this white man tell you lies about a black man.
All right, Mikey.
Don't listen to that cracker ass cracker.
You've been quiet today, so you get to take us out of here today, Mikey. What do you got?
So January, I'm looking up the news stories from January. That's when Kobe died.
Yeah, we know about Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe.
Like, that was the first domino. That's the first domino right there.
January.
I thought it was February. It was January?
Yeah, I remember because I was at Great Wolf Lodge when I found out with my family, and I had to go to the bathroom and cry.
I went to a couple news sites and they have like all their shit, like just this immense list, and it's just January for all the news articles they put out. On the 31st, they just talked about Kobe. So I can't even remember what happened on like the 5th of January. Who even knows?
Well, and also I can't make any promises because we all know how this guy is. But I am in talks with a Mr. TJ John Stone to come back before I'm in talks to find a time that works for him. So it'll probably have to be during the day because he works at Costco. You guys know that. So he's very unavailable right now. But he said he definitely wants to come on before the end of the year. So
tell that silky throat devil to get on this show.
Yes. So
how's why don't you reach out to him? Because you know how Dutch be. You see how he just did me. Well, why don't you take care of that?
Well, now you know why TJ left.
Because
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're probably assuming to do the same soon. All right. Well, there we go then. I thought Mikey was going to give us some shit. He gave us nothing. But that's what he brings to the show. Nothing as usual.
Nothing as usual. I do nothing.
Wow.
And I'm going to get my own segment here quickly.
Why don't you have one yet?
I'm gonna get one, and it's gonna be whichever edible I'm eating today. Unfortunately, the edible label is green, but this is a key lime pie white chocolate crunch bar. It is fantastic. It has 100 milligrams. Yeah, 100 milligrams of THC, but it's broken up.
Thing?
I remember your first edible like 2 weeks ago.
No, that was like fucking 3 months ago. I've had to re-up twice since then.
Oh, you know what? By the way,
it's great. It helps my anxiety and it helps me sleep. It's fucking fantastic. I couldn't.
Next show's guest. Hold on, he's gonna get on. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Earl Tucker here.
Here he is.
Earl Tucker.
All right, bye. See y'all.
Earl Tucker, Confederate trucker. I'm gonna be on the show in Dutch's stead next show. So look forward to talking to all of you fine folk out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll see you on Voice from the Underground. We'll be flying our Confederate flags high and proud, drinking some Coors Light, and thinking about Stone Cold Steve Austin because he's the greatest wrestler of all time.
Don't you drag Stone Cold into that shit.
Stone Cold don't like them racists.
Nah, he don't do racism. Don't you do Stone Cold like that.
Hey,
you better bring up Vince McMahon or somebody who's actually racist.
You have no evidence that Earl Tucker is a racist yet. Let him out himself.
Confederate flags is racist. I'm Steven Crowder with the table. Like
he would probably say something, but he left. So
he left. Fucking. We'll have to catch him next week.
Yeah, we'll have to check him next week. So, all right, kids. With that in mind, another long show. Thanks for tuning in, and go fuck yourself, planet Earth.
Peace.